call it.
Let's see much speckle.
That's what they call it.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Speckled beige.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You got lucky. Sometimes you buy the thing on the
I've never bought
targeted ad doesn't work, and I'd say it fits.
I had never bought anything from this particular company, and I like the sweater. I might have to buy another one, different color. I don't know. We'll see.
It is true, man. Once I find like a company or a fit and something that looks good, I am willing to buy like the other color.
Yeah, because of the time of the year, I end up having much nicer winter clothes than I do summer clothes. Because it's around the holidays, my birthday, so I end up getting gift cards or whatever. So I end up having much nicer winter clothes than I do summer clothes.
You got a better fit during that time of year.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh, totally.
You would look like a hipster, though, if you had a beanie on that was also knitted.
Nah, but that's not me.
If you had a knitted beanie on, I'd be like, look at Alex.
Yeah.
Getting ready to go watch some indie band I've never heard of.
Yeah,
got that fisherman look.
Definitely not my vibe.
Even though he's never fished.
Not my vibe. Not my vibe at all.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, let's get into it.
You don't want to just talk about
distract this show.
The whole show?
The rest of the way. I mean, we could. And now you can see it up on the video stream for yourself. You can see the speckled beige sweater that is at least partially cashmere right now over on the video stream. YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook.
That's right. So Chris Kelce was on ESPN the other day and was talking about the Chiefs and their offseason and what the Chiefs have or haven't done. I want to play this because I think there's a good point or two in here. I disagree with one part of it, and maybe you guys think this is the case. Listen to what Chris Kelce had to say about the Chiefs organization and how they have handled Patrick Mahomes throughout the last couple of years.
They have not protected the franchise, which is Patrick Mahomes. This year, Patrick Mahomes is the second most contacted quarterback. Over the last 3 years, no quarterback has been hit more on dropbacks than Patrick Mahomes. And oh, by the way, during that same span, their receivers lead the league in drops and they're 22nd in rushing. So you mean to tell me your quarterback doesn't have any protection, your quarterback doesn't have reliable receivers, and you have no reliable running game to lean on? Got it. That's the best way to accentuate a top 5 quarterback of all time. It makes no sense. Everybody that's in charge in decision-making power in Kansas City needs to look themselves in the mirror, and they need to get serious about trying to do right by Patrick Mahomes by fortifying that roster and putting better supporting cast around him. And until they do, we will look at one of the greatest talents that we've seen at the quarterback position in NFL history and wonder why he can't get back to the level that we saw him at through the first 7 years of his career.
So that was Chris Kelce. The only part I will agree with is what we've discussed. They have to, like we've said, they got to get more explosive in the backfield. So you need to help out your quarterback, your franchise quarterback, and get him some help with a real running game. I agree with that. They have failed in that way. I disagree firmly, though, that they have failed to protect their franchise quarterback. You can argue some have not panned out, Cody, but they have committed resources, both on the O-line and the wide receiver room. Now,
it's not from the lack of trying.
The actual result part of it, we can all say, hey, it hasn't worked out in that particular way in the last year or so. But the idea that the organization has not committed resources to surround him with talent at wide receiver, the O-line, is just not true. I mean, the O-line in general, just that. They went out and spent a first-round pick this past year. They had spent a second-round pick the year before. They've spent third-round on O-line. They've spent another second-round offensive line pick for the highest-paid center in football, in Creed Humphrey. They spent a sixth-round pick, Trey Smith, highest-paid guard in football. They made him the highest-paid guard in football. They spent, Juwan Taylor was an $80 million contract for Juwan Taylor. I can keep going. I mean, they have committed resources on the O-line.
Plenty of them.
And they've spent picks on wide receivers. So I disagree with the notion they just completely avoided helping out their quarterback. The part where they do need to look in the mirror is they got to find him a real running game, though, to complement.
Sure. But again, they also did spend a first-round pick on a running back after they had lost Kareem Hunt, a guy who's a third-round pick, which is a valuable asset for a running back. So they only recently gave up on that because this happens all the time in any business or workplace. They got burned a couple of times, right? And then they just decide, we're going to step back for a little bit. We're going to find our running backs a different way because we chose Clyde Edwards-Helaire. What's crazy is it wasn't the bad decision. It wasn't the decision to take the running back there. It was the running back you took. Gold, a pick later, 2 picks later, that Jonathan Taylor went. Had they just chosen the correct running back, we wouldn't even be having this conversation about the running backs and the ability to do it. They just found the wrong one. But this idea, if you want to say moving forward, they got to not let Patrick Mahomes down, I'll listen to it. if you want to try to convince me that over the last 7 or 8 years, they've let him down, he's got 3 Super Bowls. This is tied for the most successful 8-year run in NFL history. How can you let someone down in the middle of an all-time run? You must have given him enough in order to do it. Now, if you're saying moving forward, he needs another elite level wide receiver or an elite level running back or an offensive line that actually protects him, I'm in. But they've been trying to do that.
I think there's 2 separate things here because texts are coming in as well. I think we have to separate 2 things. If you want to say that they have in certain areas failed based on the result, I'm with you, right? Like the result of what they have gotten out of some of those picks and investment on the offensive line. I don't disagree. I can't really dispute that. But if your take is that as an organization, they have not used resources to try to do exactly what you think they need to do, they have done that. It's a results-based business, right? So they have to have the results. And as Cody laid out, the results have been multiple rings, et cetera. But the result part, to me, is different than what Chris Canty is saying. Or either that or I don't think he framed it properly then. If his take is that, hey, the results have not been good enough at wide receiver, the results overall have not been good enough on the O-line, sure, I agree. If his take is that the organization, which is what he was trying to say, that they have not invested around Patrick Mahomes, that's just not accurate. Those are 2 different things. That's all.
I mean, they've definitely, and again, this goes back to maybe this is a larger Brett Veach conversation, and you and I have said same thing that applies to Andy Reid. There are good picks in there. Most GMs miss sometimes. I will allow him, and I get it. You're saying allow him in a draft in which you're going to pick, 11th, 12th, 13th overall, 45th. That's a risk. But if he blows this one, he's going to run himself out of town anyway. And to this point, again, the overall success of the era cannot be denied. You can't tell me that you think Brett Veach is a bad GM because if you think Brett Veach is a bad GM, then you think a really good or the best GM in the league in your mind would have won 7 straight Super Bowls. I mean, I'm dead serious. You think they'd have just won the Super Bowl every year in perpetuity with 0 questions asked. But look at the resources. First-round pick in Simmons, like you said, Juwan Taylor. The second-round pick at center, that's a high pick for a center. They paid him. They found a guard in the 6th, but then they paid him. Yep. They have the only thing they've done to take away from the offense was trade away Tyreek Hill, and they tried to pay him too. He just ended up asking for so much money. And look, I'm glad they walked when they did. Turns out, walking when they did was the right choice on time.
This is the weird part because I think it does matter now in the second half of Mahomes' career because, look, his athleticism is not the same at age soon to be 31 as it was at 25. I mean, I don't care who you are. It's not going to be the same. And so he needs more help than what he needed 5 years ago. So if your point is that they can't operate the same way moving forward, 100%. I think that's the biggest question and deal moving forward for the organization. They have to operate differently moving forward. They cannot rely on Patrick Mahomes to mask everything. If that's what you're saying, then I'm 100% there. I just think it's hard to argue with the prior results of like they didn't do enough to help them the previous 8 years. They absolutely did. They won 3 rings. But moving forward, they have to do it better. Like, as weird as that sounds, like they have to do it better because he will not be able to mask it the same way. Also, your division is tougher. So I think both things can be true here. I think they actually did a very, very good job at acquiring pieces and investing in the prior years. This year and moving forward, they're going to have to do it in a different way and not just bank on, we can have a deficiency in this spot because Patrick will overcome it. I don't think you can bank on that as much moving forward. That's where I'm at kind of with this moving forward. This is a different conversation than like just, hey, the offense hasn't been as good. This is more of an organizational front office deal for me.
It's also just really hard for me because I can't tell you how many texts we've gotten in or tweets I've seen or anything that's said, well, the results haven't worked. Really? Like, again, are you sure? They did attend the Super Bowl 3 years in a row. Is that not? What result are you looking for? Winning all 3? Going to 5 in a row? Going to 10 in a row? What's the number in which you would have thought it works well enough?
But you know what the answer to that is. I mean, people are frustrated present day, right? You know how this is part of being a fan and fandom. People are overreacting to what has happened this particular year and worried that this is a year that could happen more often, and people are freaking out about that.
Yeah,
and that's why the decisions moving forward are so important and why status quo does not work moving forward.
No, I agree with that. Like, you can't just say, it's going to go back and we're going to get it back again and it's all going to be solved. Fine. Mm-hmm. But, like, they do get, again, I'm not going to say that it's all just over because I watched it once.
Sure.
all of us, and Gold, we've said this a couple times in the show now this week, I think, but we go through it next year. They're 6-8, and it is week 15, and they've been eliminated from the playoffs. Don't worry. We'll all be in lockstep with you. Everyone will be on board. It's just, why have you already pre-written the story when, if you just say, well, it's going to happen 2 years in a row. But the 3 years in a row before that, we're all fine. So, like, it does seem more likely at this point, based on the Chiefs' history, they will be in the AFC Championship game next year than miss the playoffs.
Yeah. So it's about what have you done lately. I agree with that philosophy. That is exactly how sports work. I would argue, though, when you went to 3 straight Super Bowls, that doesn't kick in terms of cleaning the entire organization out after 1 year. You know what I mean? And to Cody's point, next year, if we are in this exact spot, then it's 2 years in a row. Then, trust me, I will be on this show saying, all right, it's just time to reset the entire organization.
Somebody's completely lost their step.
I'm not there yet, and I don't think that would be a smart way to operate if you are going to overreact after 1 year. Does this mean that, as we discussed yesterday, they should just run back everything? Of course not. No, that is one, they can't, because financially with the roster setup. But I'm even talking with the coaching staff. They cannot just bring back everybody on the coaching staff. But if you're wanting the drastic, move on from every single coordinator, move on from every player that they've paid recently, that's also not going to be I think a realistic way to approach it. We'll get into this again later on in the show, and also, of course, throughout the next couple months as well. Let's talk about Patrick Mahomes and the recovery part of it and the rehab side of it. RG3 was discussing his experience, as we all know, with the knee injury, talking about Micah Parsons with the ACL injury that he had as well. He suggested something that, frankly, goes against what multiple medical experts have been saying, including we had a former NFL trainer on our show earlier in the week that said this is not what is necessary. Listen to RG3.
Yeah, I mean, the number one advice I would give to Micah Parsons and Patrick Mahomes right now is to not play next year. And it's because of when they got hurt. They both got hurt in December. You look at these injuries, and we've seen guys come back in 6 months.
Oh, and my computer just restarted. So that's awesome. That's great. Drew, I don't know if you're able to play the cut from your computer.
Quickly, yes.
Literally just says restarting right in the middle of the clip. That's great timing, isn't it?
Hey.
That's awesome.
I was like, what the hell happened?
Yeah. I promise you I wanted to continue hearing.
All right, I got it ready.
All right, can you start that over?
Yeah, I mean, the number one advice I would give to Micah Parsons and Patrick Mahomes right now is to not play next year. And it's because of when they got hurt. They both got hurt in December. You look at these injuries, and we've seen guys come back in 6 months, 8 months, 9 months. And it would be 9 months for both of them if they were ready to go week 1. But you don't really feel like yourself until about 15 months after the injury. And some guys will even tell you, hey, it took me 24 months to truly feel like myself again. And don't get me wrong, 80% of Micah Parsons is better than dang near almost every pass rusher in the NFL. 80% of Patrick Mahomes is better than almost every quarterback in the NFL. But I look at it from a standpoint because of my own experience. And these guys aren't me. But I tore my ACL and my LCL, the same injury that Patrick Mahomes has right now. And I wouldn't have played in 2013 if hindsight, which it is 2020, I wouldn't have played the following year because I wasn't back to myself yet.
Look, I get what he's saying.
That's simply just not going to happen also.
Yes, and they are different styles of quarterback. RG3 was like the 1,000-yard guy on the ground quarterback. He relied on his speed and cutting and movement. And I understand that Patrick Mahomes ran more this year than he's ever run before, and there still will be plenty of time for that. But it's hard for me to say, yeah, let's really make sure that he doesn't get back. Let's say a whole year out. That's never going to happen.
Never
going to happen.
In the NFL, I don't know at this point but I would say it's fair to say in the last hundreds of ACL injuries at this point in time. And
yeah, probably.
Nobody, I should say nobody, majority, they don't all just sit out another year just because. Nobody's saying he's going to be 100% when he comes back. Like 100% of who he was
same agility, same movement. No, but he can feel like he can cut and run and he's not going to get hurt.
This idea that they should sit out a full season, that's just not how any of these athletes operate. It's not how any team's going to operate. It's not the norm for any of these cases. Unless he has a setback, then that's different. But if all is going well, whether he's scheduled to come back week 1 or week 7, I don't know. We'll all figure that out as we get closer to the season.
Yeah.
Sit out the whole year. It's not necessary. Like, no, this is not coming from me. These are former trainers and and team doctors that have all said, yeah, you don't need to do that.
Good. I mean, honestly, good luck. Good luck trying to convince that to Patrick Mahomes. And I understand he's saying from a quarterback to quarterback, take your time, man. Take your time. I understand that.
I think it fits more with Micah Parsons though, in a way than Pat, just because of the amount of weight that you're putting with cutting and all the other things, for Mike. I do think, look, if Patrick Mahomes tore his Achilles, totally different story. I think it's a totally different story.
Completely different injury.
Yeah,
I know,
recovery timelines.
Yeah, exactly. Because the way that I don't know, 10 years ago, probably 15 years ago, Patrick Mahomes probably would be out at least half the season with the ACL injury, but given how the evolution has continued to go with the science behind recovery and all these other things, the ACL has gone from like a 12 to 15 month thing to 8 to 10 month thing for most people. Like I think that's
there's been a serious advancement since RG3 had his terrible ACL injuries, plural, as a matter of fact.
Little news in the local college football game. Power Mizzou reporting that, and it's funny because we talked about this player on the show and off the air.
This is big news.
Bo Pribula is entering the transfer portal.
Are you going to be all right?
Leaving Missouri.
No, this
and
is
he will enter the transfer portal.
It doesn't matter whether he's in Missouri or not. Bo Pribula is better than Dylan Raiola. You can quote me on it. You can take it to the house.
Do they have another quarterback coming, or is Bo Pribula just deciding all the wide receivers are leaving, so I'm leaving too?
This is really
bad for Missouri.
I was going to say this is
they don't
really
have any kind of
them.
consistency now.
Because now, like Marquise Johnson is gone, Manning is gone, Bo Pribula is gone. Obviously, you're going to have to try to convince Ahmad Hardy to stay. Because if I'm Ahmad Hardy, other programs have got to be calling for him. And if
he made
else
comments
is leaving,
he made comments last week that makes it seem pretty strong that he's staying at Missouri. Like,
I would think so. But hey, everybody else is leaving all of a sudden.
But he's already publicly acknowledged it. These other guys haven't.
I understand. But hey, it's college football, man. Everybody's opinion changed. Avery Johnson said the same thing, but his boy Jace Brown entered the portal. Who's to say Avery Johnson doesn't leave? I don't think he will, but I do think this is big news because right now it's Matt Zollers, and I don't know who else is in the room because Sam Horn's going to the Dodgers and Bo Pribula's in the portal. So Coach Drinkwitz not only has to hire an OC, but also has to find a lot of guys talent-wise to replace the players who are leaving.
I will say it's not like an accident that report came out 20 minutes ago, and then 1 minute ago, Eli Drinkwitz said, "Can't wait for Matt Zollers to start the Gator Bowl." He's signaling what we now know.
This is going to be really interesting to follow here the next month.
Look,
with them.
Here's the truth about it, and because they don't have like the sure guy there yet, I think it's a problem for Missouri. I don't think Bo Pribula is all that good. I think in the long run, just as long as Missouri can find one of these, I think, better quarterbacks in the transfer portal, they'll be fine. But if it's just Zollers next year, well, then I think you're taking a huge risk. Or they're just deciding to lay in the weeds for a year in which their schedule is going to be way harder, and they don't think they have any chance to compete in the SEC. So they're going to, let Zollers wear it for a year and figure out if he can develop. They're going to have to find a quarterback. Pribula would start for them if he didn't enter the portal, and they didn't
he's
recruit
one of those,
a different quarterback, but he's not very good in my opinion.
Well, he's just one of those guys that clearly is going to bounce around throughout his entire collegiate career.
Penn State, Missouri, somewhere else.
He for whether we're going to find out when it's all said and done, whether it's for more money, I don't know, or just a different situation. It'll be interesting to see where he actually ends up.
You take him at Kansas?
I
haven't seen an old MU to Kansas to MU.
I don't think that's happening. I also think they're probably just going to roll with Marshall. So we'll see.
That's probable. Do you think Missouri just roll with Zollers?
I think that's the plan. I mean, he was a 4-star player coming in, pretty highly touted. I think it makes sense that they would try to roll with him. Maybe they bring somebody in for experience.
Unless Pribula's going back with his old coach, James Franklin. Do they have a good relationship, even though he left Penn State?
Virginia Tech. I mean, I'm sure they do. I think that'd be an interesting thing.
Last year, Pribula, 1,900 yards, 11 touchdowns, 9 picks, 67% completion rate, had about 300 yards rushing, 6 touchdowns.
I wonder if James Franklin had any part in his decision.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
why would he go back after leaving him before, though?
Well, different school, and before it's because they had a different quarterback.
Yeah,
there was Drew Aller.
He was never going to play over Drew Aller.
Sure. So maybe there was no hard
outside of that. We said this, and this is this was something we acknowledged in the season. The hot start Missouri got off to, Bo Pribula at that point in time was not. Ahmad Hardy, of course, was awesome all year. But he was not asked, Pribula was not asked to go throw the ball down the field all that often early on in the season and go win games for them. When it became SEC play, tougher competition, when he needed to stretch the field, whether it was his fault or the receiver's fault, I don't know, but he was not all that effective. Right, yeah. Sure. Whatever the reason was, it was not, he struggled once it got to that point. And so that would be my question, for him and for Missouri.
Somebody else when the portal closes. Technically, the portal...
Never.
So the portal is technically open, but they're not. The portal window is notably between January 2nd and 16th is where it's the period that you need to be paying attention to.
They'll probably bring in
It closes on January 16th.
Okay. My guess is before then, between now and then, Missouri will have some other more experienced quarterback that gets brought in to at least compete with Zollers.
I think that they have no choice. And with the schedule next year being what it is, they're going to have to load up on some talent because that schedule is a lot harder next year.
We've had these conversations a ton about college football, and I don't know when it's going to actually happen. The transfer portal is one thing, the NIL stuff. There has to be some, go back to the Lane Kiffin stuff as well. I don't know how they establish this, if unfortunately it's going to actually take government involvement, which typically is not what any of us want, but you are looking at players and coaches leaving and the timeline and everything. We can change the timeline all we want. I think players, if they're going to be compensated, that's great. Okay, we got to have contracts.
Collective bargaining.
Got to have contracts. Whether that means there's a college football players union, I don't know, but there has to be some contracts because that would also solve a little bit of this bowl game issue, which is you got 20 players just not playing in bowl games. If you're under contract, no, your ass is playing in the bowl game.
If you're Kansas and you get offered a bowl game, you have to play in it. Sorry.
Right. So
we're all under contract.
That to me is the only way you can solve this. Like, absolutely, they should be compensated if they are worth X amount of dollars because of their ability. By all means, they should be able to get that money. But there's got to be some contract here to also protect everybody involved in the situation. You're getting paid. Part of that is, you're agreeing to play in a bowl game, let's say, or whatever. So that's the only way I think this gets fixed is if we get contracts for players.
I think we're years away because in a weird way, I still think the NCAA doesn't want them to be able to collectively bargain because it requires giving up things they haven't had to give up yet. And so, they're still not willing to be like, we're equal partners in this. They still think they're the big bad wolf on the street, and they don't want to concede some of those things, and they're going to run into an issue with it eventually.
All right, coming up next, we'll get back to the NFL. Danan Hughes, former Chiefs wide receiver. He will be in Nashville on the broadcast for the Chiefs radio network here on 96.5 The Fan. I want to ask him about the wide receivers for the Chiefs who may not have Rice, may not have Thornton, what it means for Jalen Royals. That's coming up next.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Hey, this is Frank from Woodyard Barbecue, and we have $20 slabs of baby backs and $2 beers for the rest of 2025. With family gatherings happening, Woodyard can cater any size event. We also have firewood, oak for the fireplace, pinyon for the fire pit, and hickory, pecan, and cherry for the smoker. We sell it all by the log or by the bag. We've been in business for over 100 years and are proud to be part of Kansas City barbecue history. Find us at 3001 Merriam Lane in KCK or online at woodyardbbq.com. Kansas City has the best fans and the best barbecue. Eat it, smoke it, live it, Woodyard Barbecue.
Hi, I'm Emily, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company, where a small box with a burgundy bow will help you win the holidays. As an in-house designer, I love creating meaningful, fine jewelry gifts. Choose a necklace with a gorgeous infinity charm to symbolize your everlasting love. Or go for a personalized piece with an engraving, their zodiac sign, favorite color gemstone, or their initial accented with pave diamonds. Because a friend wants you to be a holiday hero. Stop by or shop now at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Hey folks, I've got a couple of important questions for you. Do you know how much money you need to retire? Do you have a plan in place for your loved ones? If your answer is no, it's time to get your financial planning on track with UMB Private Wealth. It's never too late to start. Plus, their team supports you at every step of the planning process. Go to umb.com/private wealth to schedule your appointment. That's umb.com/private wealth. Why not start today?
When you've thrown over 4,000 innings like I have, you know joint pain isn't a maybe, it's a guarantee. For you, was it climbing ladders or too much heavy lifting? Hey, we're all in the same boat. But surgery, that was never my answer.
Baseball legend Roger Clemens knows there's a better way. That's QC Kinetics regenerative treatments that help your body heal itself. No scalpels, no fake fixes, just real relief.
What I love about QC Kinetics, these are the most respected medical pros in the country that specialize in non-surgical therapies to get you moving again.
Don't mask the pain, fix it. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation.
I trusted QC Kinetics. You should too.
Call QC Kinetics today and schedule your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. 816-412-6299.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-269-3454. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-269-3454 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-269-3454 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-269-3454.
This season, enjoy stress-free comfort with easy booking and trusted service from Anthony. Save up to $4,500 on a new high-efficiency HVAC system. Schedule today at anthonyphce.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
We're going to have Danan Hughes join us in just a minute or two, our regular conversation with the former chief wide receiver. A little bit of news during the break as well. I don't know if you saw this from Josina Anderson. She sent out a tweet and said, quote, she's told there's been recent interest expressed at the very least in speaking with Bill Belichick on an exploratory basis from 2 NFL teams, according to a league source. Went on to say, my understanding is Belichick has upper-level personnel still fond of him in Atlanta, New York, and Cleveland. Remember, he was a finalist for the Atlanta job. So something to keep an eye on. I don't know how anybody would hire him at this point in time.
Cleveland, after all that?
Yeah. She went on to say, additionally, she's told up to 7 more teams are monitoring potential changes at head coach. The Giants and Titans, we already know, are open. And then she went on to say up to 3 to 4 more teams are considering changes at general manager. The Dolphins, as we already know, have a GM vacancy. So keep an eye on it, but like, do you actually think
Bill Belichick? I thought he'd never coach in the NFL again.
I don't think he is.
Bill Belichick.
Again, she's just saying that she's being told that 2 teams have at least expressed interest in talking to him. Doesn't hurt to go and have a conversation with anybody, you know?
I tell you right now, if he can get himself back in the NFL, you got to ditch that North Carolina
sure.
stuff. That's been a mess.
Absolutely.
And we all know that the only reason he went to North Carolina is because no one in the NFL would hire him.
I mean, could you imagine if do you think Jordan would end up trying to be like the Colts owner? She's at least an owner, so she has every right to be on the sideline. Do you think Jordan would have a headset on while Bill Belichick is coaching on an NFL sideline?
I'll just tell you right now, no conversation with an NFL team will not include where is she going to be in this facility and what is your plan for her?
Yeah,
you have to have that.
It's a problem.
Like it or not, you have to have that conversation with him because she's been, and they tried to deny this stuff, but there was rumors that she was like on the sideline and all this other stuff. And
I just don't. We all know Bill Belichick, unbelievable success, one of the great coaches in NFL history. Nobody's taking that away from him. At this point, though, if I'm a GM and my job is on the line as a GM for, let's say it's the Jets, let's say it's the Titans or wherever, or Atlanta, who already almost hired Belichick the last time, how on earth do I think it's a good idea considering now the baggage that he comes with?
No, thank you. I mean, I just don't know how you could do it.
And is it his priority anymore? I mean, clearly with this Georgia, Bill Belichick also turned 74 in April. Just saying, for an NFL job and the amount of effort and work and everything that
and hours,
yeah,
no thanks. Like this is not. I think we've been accused of maybe being too. What did we get accused of? Age shaming on this show. It's not that, but come on, man.
So we'll see. Again,
mid-70s.
She is just putting out there that she is hearing that two teams are at least in the exploratory phase of perhaps looking to talk to Bill Belichick. I'll believe it when I see it. All right, let's talk some Chiefs football. Danan Hughes, former Chiefs wide receiver. He will be on the broadcast in Nashville Sunday for the Chiefs Radio Network here on 96.5 The Fan. He's brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue, and brought to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. He also hosts Players Only on Thursday nights at 6 right here on 96.5 The Fan. Danan, good to have you on the show, man. I don't know if you caught any of what we were talking about before. There's a report that a couple teams in the NFL are at least exploring the possibility of wanting to talk to Bill Belichick again. Hasn't this ship sailed at this point in time?
Yeah, guys, I would think that it had sailed, but desperation is a factor around the NFL. And although there's this wave of young talent at the coaching positions that seem to kind of take a life in the NFL, there are also some old school owners and GMs that, want a flashback of the past and believe that Bill Belichick still has some gas left in his tank. So I'm not totally surprised in it to get away from the game in the fashion that he did. Sometimes can create some curiosity as it pertains to whether or not he still has it. And when you look across the landscape of the league and teams that weren't expecting to lose to the extent that they are, or weren't expected to have, tumultuous relationships with their coaches and players and thereof, who knows? Maybe Miami could be that destination. That was the first one that comes off the top of my head. But, it's the nature of the beast there. I just also want to say, guys, that I said this earlier with Dusty and Fesco earlier this week, that I think the conspiracy theories of the Chiefs not making the playoffs and all that's happening has trickled into our radio communications, because this is the second show, the second segment this week, where strangely my phone is not working when you guys call. So I feel like I have taken credit for a couple of the Super Bowls since I've been in the booth for 6 years, because I think it's been about me and not about those guys on the field. You guys know that.
Yeah.
And now I feel like it's reversing, because now nobody wants to hear from me, evidently, because you guys can't get in contact with me. So I feel like maybe I won't take any blame for this season, but I'm a factor. Who knew? I'm a factor.
Danan, when you look at the coaching stuff, it's really interesting because look, people are seriously, they're ready to be mad at Andy Reid, be mad at Brett Veach, because when you have a season where you have Patrick Mahomes and you fail like this, they're, I think, swinging even bigger than they should. But how do you, I guess, determine when you feel like it's not, the roster's not good versus the game has passed you by? Because I think you can watch Bill Belichick and you're like, You're coaching old school and it doesn't work, and this approach doesn't work. And with Pete Carroll, I told Gold at the end of the time in Seattle, I didn't think it looked like he had it anymore. He took this Raiders job and it's been horrible. At what point do you worry like anything else? Andy is the second oldest coach in the NFL. And I'm not saying I'm there yet, but how do you know if the game's passed someone by?
So I don't know if there's a clear-cut answer as to when you feel like the game has passed you by, but I can tell you when you lose 8 games and 7 of them by 1 score, I think that's probably the definition of that it's not passed you by. Like, if we would be having a whole different conversation if we would have gotten blown out with a healthy Patrick Mahomes, a healthy Travis Kelce, a healthy Chris Jones, maybe not not the issues off the field of Rashee Rice and having him for the full season, and not the collision early on with Xavier Worthy that forced him out of the lineup and pretty much unhealthy for most of this season, and we were getting blown out, then I think we would have a different discussion of, okay, man, like, what's going on here, and has the game passed anybody by on the coaching staff? But when you lose 8 games in the fashion that we have after winning 17 games over the last 2 seasons and setting a record, like, you can't go from one extreme to the other. He couldn't have been just 9 months ago considered at the cusp of being considered the greatest coach of the greatest franchise and the greatest dynasty and the greatest run, to now 9+ months later, people thinking about calling for his job. I think we live in this kind of extreme kind of mindset society where either you're great or you're at fault. And if you're at fault, we need to rinse and repeat and get rid of you. And I don't think Andy Reid has shown that. I don't think you can go from one extreme to the other to that extent like we are now and what people are calling for.
The wide receivers this Sunday, I mean, that receiver room could look a lot different, not by choice necessarily because of some injuries. Of course, Tyquan Thornton in concussion protocol, Rashee Rice in concussion protocol. At this point in time, I would say it's somewhat unlikely that either play. Will we finally see Jalen Royals if that's the case? I mean, the last 3 weeks, I know there's some guys on the team that have some incentives that maybe you want to take care of as well, but at the same time, Jalen Royals, Brashard Smith, this seems like a great opportunity to find out what you have heading into the offseason.
Absolutely. I think if you're going into these games, and I mentioned it earlier this week, and you play to win the game, the Herm Edwards quote that's echoed for decades around the NFL. You play to win the game. I get that. But at the same time, if that's your number one priority, 1B can be evaluation of young talent. And I think it would be a smart approach in going into these last 3 games and seeing exactly what you have with some of the guys lower on the depth chart, giving them more ample opportunity to play. And what I mean by that is one of the toughest things in all of sports, if you look at Major League Baseball being a pinch hitter, maybe a DH, basketball being the 7th, 8th guy off the bench. In football, looking to the sideline after every play to see if you're being rotated in or out. I know that Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt and most running backs that have come through the league hate that. They want to be able to get into the rhythm, get into the groove, and have the flexibility to tap the top of their helmet and run off the field when they're winded, not look to the sideline to see if the personnel changes every single play. Because I will tell you from experience, even though it seems like it's insignificant, that run on and off the field is tiring. It is tiring. It is not. It looks like it should be easy, but getting in the huddle, getting your juices flowing, your adrenaline going, and then looking to the sideline and then having to run to the sideline, then run back on, can get you winded. So I feel it's a long-winded answer to say this is an ample opportunity not only to get glimpses of these guys, but get them extended play. Almost treat it like a glorified preseason game where they are part of the game plan, and you can almost guarantee that they're going to have 30 to 50 reps in the game. And then you'll be able to evaluate, okay, this guy, although he may not be a starter for us next year, we got something in the books and in our tank and in our bullpen for a number 3 or number 4 or number 5 guy.
When you look at you follow him as much as we do. We talk about all these guys who could have there. I see Arid Pride maybe put out their list and they said, we'd like to see more Noah Gray because, is he going to be the starting tight end next year versus Travis Kelce? Did you read in that New Heights line the same as we did, which was when he said the Chiefs instead of we? I took that as like, why is he saying it like that? Like he's not a part of the Chiefs when they try to get Patrick Mahomes back.
Yeah, and even going back to our conversation last week where I said, watching him prior to that Texans game and seeing him look around the stadium, I thought, you know what? Like that looks like the look of a guy that knows he's in front of, a crowd for the third to last time possibly in his career. So I'm not surprised. There were also some other nuggets on the New Heights podcast. Looked like he got choked up when Jason had asked him a question about the feelings coming out of this last game against the Chargers, and the impact of not going to the playoffs after his successes. And it seemed like he was very calculated in his answer, which I don't think I've seen that before. So, we can nitpick and look through a microscope at everything he says and does. The fact remains is he's going to go off on his own accord. If he's already made that decision, more power to him. He's been a huge blessing to the Chiefs kingdom for 13 years now, and 10 Pro Bowls and 5 Super Bowls and 3 championships. Like, what else could you possibly want to do? And so I hope to see a little bit more from him. I believe 203 yards he needs to break 1,000. That would be a great accomplishment to go out and ride off into the sunset with that on your resume. But the way he wants to go out is great. And if we can see a little bit more of the other tight ends, I really like Robert Tonyan. I've liked him for years. So maybe we'll see more of him as well.
We're talking to Danan Hughes here on 96.5 The Fan. You mentioned, for Travis in these final 3 weeks and maybe there's certain incentives or milestones and things like that would be neat. What about just as a team, when you're playing in a game, Danan, late in the year, and especially if you're a player that's only known the playoffs and you're not a young rookie or something, how do you get up for a game like this? Like, I know as a fan, it's easy for us to say, I'll just have Red Zone channel on instead. But you can't half-ass a football game, though, right?
No, you can't. And I think that from a player's perspective, and I remember being in that locker room with guys that either you knew based on their contract situation, upcoming free agency, or maybe their age, that, we can't let this dude go out like this. We can't let this player go out like that. And as an athlete, you're always reaching for different things to incentivize you a little bit more, to get you over the top, maybe to get your blood boiling a little bit more hot before games. And to me, if I'm sitting in that locker room and I'm in my quietest moments before warm-ups or before kickoff and before Andy starts talking to the team and we start to get towards the tunnel for the opening lineups, I'm looking around and saying, man, we're not going to the playoffs. This might be the third to last game I'm going to play with him, pointing to this person, pointing to that person, pointing to that person. And by the way, that person over there is likely going to retire or maybe seems like he's moving towards retirement as a Hall of Famer. And I don't want him to go out not only just not making the playoffs, but on losses to teams that we should beat. So, I think that's where the brotherhood comes in. That's where that fraternity comes into play, and you playing for the guy next to you. We've heard all those sayings in the past, play for the guy next to you. Yeah, I think that's normal, but I think it's amped up even more at this juncture when you know your fate at the end of the season.
How do you feel about Gardner Minshew's possibility of being the safety net quarterback in case they need it next year? You view this, I'm assuming the way the team does, which is this is an audition for next season?
I think we're in the same boat as we were last year with Carson Wentz, and that didn't bode well for him being the future guy. So not to put more pressure on Gardner Minshew, but I've been around guys that the safest place they've been has been on the sideline with a baseball cap and a clipboard. And then I've been around where guys have been able to seize the opportunity and make a living for themselves for years to come. And we can probably scratch our heads and go through a lineup or a litany of quarterbacks, not just in Chiefs uniforms, but in other teams' uniforms that probably would have been better served keeping their baseball cap on. I want to see him play because I want to know to check that box off of, okay, we got our backup quarterback for future years when Patrick Mahomes comes back. And, oh, by the way, if it takes a little longer for him to come back, we got Minshew that looked really good in the final 3 games that he can carry us possibly for the first 2-3 games of the season until Patrick's 100%. So the tryouts are alive now, and the live bullets are going to be flying. You got 3 games to showcase that you belong in this championship organization.
At least you're headed to Nashville. There's worse places to go at this point in time of the season. Are you, I guess, who from the broadcast crew is more likely to I don't know, if there was ever a karaoke opportunity, are you going cowboy boots, cowboy hat on Broadway? What are we doing?
I got my cowboy hat when I was in Dallas.
Okay.
The Chiefs, we had an outing with some sponsors, and we all got Stetson cowboy hats.
Nice.
That's the first time I've ever gotten a cowboy hat or wore a cowboy hat, even though I'm a big hat guy. But I will not be wearing it down there.
Oh.
And I would say of the entire radio crew, I would say I would probably be the one that would step up to the mic and do karaoke. I wouldn't do it well. Let me just tell you that. But I have no qualms about embarrassing myself. I don't care. But we may get Nate Wetmore on there. He'll be coming down the home stretch of his final 3 games as part of the Chiefs Radio Network crew. So maybe we can coax him into jumping on the microphone and ending the season with a bang.
What's your guess for what song Mitch Holthus would do if he did karaoke? What kind of genre of music does he listen to?
That's a great question. I don't know. Maybe would he do like a Sweet Caroline or something like that? I feel like
I could see him holding the microphone out to the crowd, encouraging them to go ba ba ba. I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah, he would definitely not be the guy that would want to sing the entire song himself. So he would pick something that would encourage the crowd to join him.
I can see it. I'm picturing that, and I wish we could get that to actually happen with video. That would be incredible. Danan, appreciate it, man. Players only tonight?
Yes, sir. Players only tonight. And I want to say this might be the last show of the season because we have Christmas next week, and we're playing, and then New Year's. So this may be the last players only show of this 2025 season. So definitely tune in.
All right, there you go. Sounds good. Danan Hughes, safe travels down to Nashville. Of course, he'll be part of the Chiefs Radio Network broadcast, obviously, on Sunday with Mitch, with Josh, and the rest of the crew there as the Chiefs take on the Tennessee Titans. And yeah, we'll have to text Nate. Danan and Nate and everybody next week, and obviously Kling with the schedule being different. We have to move everybody up earlier in the week maybe and see what we can do.
Well, they all got to work on Christmas still, despite the fact
they
that
They do. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
So bless you for the people who have to go work.
Have you looked at
Christmas
ticket
Day.
prices?
I got to imagine they're dirt cheap. I mean, I haven't, but
I'll
look it up.
The only thing that could still keep the pricing up a little bit, people were, getting it for gifts for Christmas. Right now, this is just one secondary market. With fees, just to get in the door for the Chiefs-Broncos game on the 25th, $50.
I mean, that's cheap, dude.
Mm-hmm.
For a
downstairs, you
for
can
an NFL
get
football game.
I'm seeing downstairs 107.
I see as low as 98 on this site.
Yeah. So depending on where you look, 92 with fees. You're right there. I just found 92 with fees downstairs for.
I think
section
Carrington put it well
130.
on social media, believe it or not, which has said moving those tickets on Christmas Day, that can be easy. Just play Santa. Hook somebody up with tickets for the first ever Chiefs game and get them out to a Chiefs-Broncos game and let them just go out to the game.
Yeah, it is. We haven't talked. Someone pointed out, Gold, is Nashville your favorite Tennessee city? That's Tennessee cities. Yeah, it is this week. That is true. Nashville is one of my top 5 cities. Yeah,
4 cities of cities.
Yeah.
Wait. In Tennessee or just in general?
In general. Yeah.
Nashville is
yeah, real quick, top 5. I'm taking out where we live, okay, in this conversation.
It's just in United States cities, not worldwide, because you haven't been to those.
Yeah, how can I say?
Worldwide, I don't think Nashville can be in.
How could I say an international city? I've only gone to one other country. Yeah, real quick. Nashville's in the top 5. Chicago, Vegas, Seattle.
Seattle, that's interesting.
Destin, Florida.
Destin, Florida?
Yeah.
That's the one that makes no sense.
What do you mean? It's beautiful.
No, I think that one makes more sense than Seattle does.
Now, Seattle's actually a great city to visit. I don't know if I want to live there. Way too expensive and a bunch of other stuff. But living,
The rain
visiting,
and everything like that.
visiting.
It's a very nice city.
It's
Yes,
a
it's
really
beautiful
nice
out there.
city. Yeah. Tennessee cities.
Cities.
Yeah.
Tennessee
cities. Tennessee cities. Yeah.
I think my favorite part of the whole clip is cities. You were like trying to find the C. Cities. I got it.
Yep.
Found it. There it is.
That was, I looked at, we saved, that was August 26th. That's when that happened. It's been a while. Can't believe that was in August.
We were probably just predicting the schedule or something.
No, it was a trash of the day. It was a trash of the day. There was a man that was in multiple Tennessee cities, and we got excited as we were talking and
just lumped
the T from Tennessee into the cities.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
tough one on the slip up. As someone who is very guilty of them on this airway, I got my own, so we don't need to go down that road.
Someone said, "Cole, do you have a tour guide in those cities?" No, I do not. Nope.
Not in Tennessee. Not in Nashville.
Nope.
So we take you to Grand Ole Opry or something. I don't know.
No, I've gone to Nashville twice. Broadway, obviously stereotypical, but Broadway's awesome. Like I love rooftop bars, and they're all over the place. Live music, I love it. It's a great.
Every bar.
Nashville's fun, man. I love Nashville. It's a fun city to go to.
I've only
It's been a couple years.
twice.
I need to go back. It's been a few years. You know, if the Chiefs play in the new stadium in Nashville, I guess it's going to be multiple years from now, probably now. But
That'd be a good road trip for football fans.
I was talking last night on that betting show. I was saying with Jackson, who was producing, do you think normally this would be a game where tons of red? Do you still think we'll see a ton of red? I think there will still be people that already booked the trip and they're like, well, we might as well just enjoy Nashville.
Yeah. I mean, if you already booked a trip, I don't think you're canceling it because of this. You're just disappointed this is the one you chose and the way that it landed.
That's the risk. You didn't ever think it'd be because you knew the Titans might not be good. You never thought it'd be because
Max going out there for the game.
and he's lived there for many years.
I asked him if he was not necessarily disappointed, but if he was still going to the game. He said yes because it's the last time he'll be able to see Travis live. So he's absolutely all about it.
Okay,
he's very excited.
That's a
for
good
that.
reason to go on Christmas Day.
We'd be going. Normally we'd be going to Vegas for Week 18.
Typically,
that's not happening. That's not happening. It's also on New Year. You know, it's right after New Year's this year, so. Yeah, a little challenging. All right, up next,
timing.
11 o'clock hour. Let's talk more about this offense and the numbers, of course, that show where this offense has been trending. But there's a lazy narrative that I think continues to be out there all over social media, not to mention nationally on a particular podcast. We'll get to that next.
This is Wyatt Thompson, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays 10 to 2, right here on your home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Hey, Missouri, if you haven't heard by now, good news! FanDuel Sportsbook is live in the Show Me State, and they're kicking things off with an offer that's tough to beat. Right now, new customers in Missouri can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. So whether it's football, basketball, hockey, or more, you can bet it all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. So download FanDuel today and head to FanDuel.com/Missouri and join the excitement. Remember, new Missouri customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. Because Missouri, it's time to play your game with FanDuel. FanDuel is the official sportsbook partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
You guys know I've been driving the Ford F-150 thanks to Shawnee Mission Ford. In the last couple weeks, it's been awesome to have that remote start, getting in the truck. The seats are already heated. The steering wheel's already heated. Everything is good to go. You can check out my latest social media post at Alex Gold if you want to see the zone lighting, which is a great safety feature. Also, if you're on a job site, campsite, you name it. But it's also a great time to go visit the awesome folks over at Shawnee Mission Ford because the year-end sales event is still going on. That's 0% on all new 25 Escapes, Explorers, F-150s, Transit vans, Super Duty. It doesn't matter. You could get 90 days till first payment. And now till the end of the year, you can receive an additional $1,000 rebate. So you still get the large discounts, top trade-in allowances, 0% for 60 months, 90 days till your first payment, 90 days of Blue Cruise, plus that $1,000 rebate. Shawnee Mission Ford is on a mission to do more.
Every big play starts with a first down, and every financial future starts with the right partner. Main Street Credit Union is not-for-profit and member-owned, which means we invest in you with guidance that's clear, tools that make sense, and people who actually listen. We're here to help you move the chains. Whatever your next move is, auto loan, savings goal, or paying off debt, let's make it one play at a time. Visit mainstreetcu.org to get started.
We love entertaining during the holidays, but we also love spending time with friends and family. That's why we're letting Hy-Vee do everything, because Hy-Vee has convenient pre-made holiday meal packs for any size gathering. Made fresh and ready-to-heat menu favorites like succulent turkey, honey-glazed spiral ham, or prime rib, plus savory sides, rolls, and a choice of dessert. And don't forget the wine and spirits department. So pick up your meal the day before the holiday and then just heat and serve on the big day. This holiday season, let Hy-Vee do the cooking while you take the credit, only at Hy-Vee.
Score big savings with Hy-Vee and the Kansas City Chiefs. Big points mean even bigger savings. Just shop Hy-Vee the day after a game and earn a fuel saver discount equal to the Chiefs score and based on the amount you spend. If the Chiefs score 42 points, you save 42 cents a gallon with any $42 purchase. The more we score, the more you save. Win or lose, everyone scores the day after a Chiefs game only at Hy-Vee. Offer good in-store and online. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
Hey, football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown in the game, but his teammate scores instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. With BetMGM's second chance offer, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. Try a first TD score wager with confidence today. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. Not, but wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. VapoCool.
Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch all your favorite shows, shorts, and clips. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
11 o'clock hour here on Cody and Gold. Drew, do you want us to help get your Instagram followers up? Is that what you really want? Is that what really is that what you really want? I know that's why you're. Why do you think I just
Justin Bieber, man?
Why do you think I just mentioned it? Because this is the song from your post last night.
This is stuff that I did back in college. I loved doing this in college.
Right.
This is right. I love doing this
in college.
No, it's fun. But
this is coming from a friend.
No, I understand, but this is fun.
Let's get Drew some Instagram followers because I think that might be what he wants.
Like if you don't want to follow me on Instagram, you don't have to. If you're coming to me to follow me on Instagram, you're gonna get this is what I enjoy. I enjoy doing this.
I think you. Yeah. I don't know what the.
It's not to troll anybody. It's not to be a goofball. It's just this is who I am.
I encourage you if you guys like the show. You know, you like the show.
Go follow me. Go ahead.
You like Drew. You like the show. Go follow him on Instagram. What's the exact handle?
Oh, let me make
on
sure.
IG?
It's like it's different than the Twitter one.
It's not Drew B. Nix. It's something else.
It's not.
Anyway,
it is DEEREWW.
Okay. And all I gotta say is,
describe what the video was this time.
I was listening to this song "Way It Is" by Justin Bieber, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna record myself also singing along with it. Now the vocals, not necessarily particularly great. That's why I tried to be quiet.
You're leaving out some details here.
You're also driving. You just got in an accident. What are you doing?
You're driving.
I was in the drive-through.
You got the sunroof. You got the sunroof. Not open, but
sunroof was open actually. It was
fully open.
Oh yeah, it was fully open yesterday. It was very nice.
So you got the sunroof open. You got the Royals hooded sweatshirt, but you got the hood up.
Yes,
because it says late night drives are back, and you've got some Bieber playing. And you're looking down at the camera, and you're just singing along.
We can't hear you singing along.
Oh yeah, we can. Yep.
You can barely hear it for a little bit.
There's no cursing in this, right?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Hold on.
You can hear me a little bit. I try to be quiet.
Yeah, like a tiny bit.
I try to keep it that way. I try to keep it that way.
It's a great song. I was thrown off.
Do this to your 80s?
I was thrown off that you were recording singing in your car. Hey, we've all been there. That's not. You recorded yourself singing and put it on Instagram. In the Chick-fil-A drive-thru.
How much would someone have to pay you to start posting like that once a week? Gold, it'd be so much money. I just know, for Gold in particular, if we got to choose a song a day that he had to post on Instagram like that, oh man.
Someone said, Drew, you should start posting. Don't just make them stories. Let those live forever. Not just stories.
Post them. I don't make as many full posts either.
I forgot to mention this during our show meeting today. Cody had not seen it, and I said, did you see Drew's Instagram last night? And then you came back with that music. I was like, oh, it has to get brought up. Yeah. Give him a follow. Give him a follow on Instagram. Get the IG followers up.
Some people should not make videos. Hey, you know what? Look, a lot of people probably shouldn't, but they do.
Yeah, there's probably some accuracy in that.
All right, we'll get to the trash of the day here in about 15 minutes, but let's talk a little Chiefs football. And some comments from Bomani Jones. He was also on the drive the other day, but this is from his podcast. And by no means is he alone in this thought. And in fact, I think a lot of people are going to disagree with me and Cody on this. But I want to explain why I think it's a lazy narrative. But just listen to Bomani Jones. He's talking about the Chiefs offense. He's talking about where they're at now and where they were at with Eric Bieniemy.
I think the Bieniemy point is worth noting. It ain't really looked the same over there in Kansas City since he left. Maybe he's not a head coach, but he was somebody over there.
When you have a certain amount of success, I was talking to Scott Hansen from the NFL Red Zone. I asked him, are you a great show guy? And immediately he goes to me, no. We got to be more aware of our modifiers, our descriptors out here. When it feels great, when you're grinding through something. I feel like the Kansas City Chiefs have been grinding through something for the last couple of years, right? And, it feels great, but you ain't got nobody to be like, hey, that ain't great enough. I don't know if Matt Nagy's that guy. Right? Andy Reid, he's been coaching for so long that you can ask, if you put a bunch of people in the room and ask who's doing their job the best, how many hands going to go up before you think Andy Reid's can go up this last couple of years? So Eric Bieniemy and some of these other guys who ain't scared to make it a little uncomfortable, you need those cats, especially when it comes to bumps in the road. Like you don't need them when everybody flying high and you getting ready to pop champagne.
So that was on the Bomani Jones podcast. And I think this is one of those situations where it's not all or nothing on either way. So is the offense worse since he left? Fact. Yeah.
Yeah, that's inarguable.
Nobody should dispute. I don't know how you can.
You can't.
The offense has been worse. But where I take issue is this, what I think is somewhat of a lazy narrative, as if they had Eric Bieniemy, Cody, offense would be great and rolling and no issue. And that is the balance that I'm saying. We can't go to the extreme there, just like I can't go to the extreme and say that it hasn't gotten worse. I think Eric Bieniemy's biggest asset was he, of course, was willing, it seems like, to say things that the guys didn't want to hear in terms of, hey, no, we shouldn't do this. Why are we doing this? Don't do this. And nobody else maybe right now is willing to do that. I think that is a fair...
That's a viable part
fair
of the
criticism and might be the biggest asset that he had with this organization. I'll remind you though, since he has left, while the offense hasn't been as good, they've still gone to 2 Super Bowls, won one of them, and he's had 3 jobs since. And he's currently the running back coach in Chicago. So that I think everything needs to be presented if we're being fair. The offense has not been as good. This idea that if Matt Nagy was out, EB was in, there wouldn't be any illegal formation penalties from Jawan Taylor. There just wouldn't be anything. Come on, that's ridiculous.
So this part, I think, is just factually incorrect in the sense that, that part is revisionist history. First, they both have 2 Super Bowl rings because Matt Nagy was back on the staff the first of the 2 Super Bowls.
Correct.
He wasn't the offensive coordinator, but he was co-offensive game analyst, or he was essentially co-offensive coordinator during that stretch. So he was a big part of with Bieniemy at the same time that they won a Super Bowl. So they both have 2 Super Bowl wins under the Chiefs. Inarguable, one of the offenses was better. But I went through the numbers of this once. They made as many mistakes with Eric Bieniemy as they do now. As many penalties, illegal formations, offsides, whatever, right? All those things still existed. If your argument is he wasn't just a yes man to Andy, that is the one I will hear. I think Matt Nagy and him are more like, oh, great idea. Everybody's in the room. Everybody's ideas are great. And there's not a voice of dissent as often. That part I absolutely will hear.
And you need those people.
You do. Drew, I don't disagree. I think so. I think that is something that they missed. Matt Nagy, the offense is fine. Matt Nagy is very, very close to Patrick Mahomes. And we saw plenty of times where EB and Mahomes would butt heads on the sideline.
They call him a competitive prick.
Right. And so I don't disagree that that's what they missed the most. But I think people have taken it to the extreme of that it's just that simple, that cut and dry. Here's the stats. They're worse in this area, and man, EB left, so boom, it must be because of that. I will also say the league has just shifted since then. The league in the 2 high safety looks, the Chiefs as an organization have not been able to adapt to it as well as other teams have. They haven't figured that out. And ultimately, we go way back in when we were all having the discussions on this show 3+ years ago. Hey, why is he not getting interviews? And we were saying, it's unfair. He should be getting interviews. He should be getting head coach looks and all that. What was the one knock at that time that people are now using in reverse? At the time, it was, he's not getting a look because people are afraid, guys, that it's Andy Reid's offense and he's really not the play caller. He's really not involved. Now here we are 3 years later, and you're trying to tell me that he was the key to the offense? And it doesn't work. The same people that were saying that then are now trying to act like it's his offense.
He was. And, you got to go back through. It's it's working in Chicago now. You're like, well, look at those running backs in Chicago. God, I'm going.
Ben Johnson's the head coach, and he's the guy calling the plays.
It also stunk at UCLA and stunk at Washington the year before. So it's not like it's just been gangbusters since he left Kansas City. I genuinely do not disagree with the idea that they could use an outside voice to offer some outside opinions. This is my problem with Bieniemy or even bringing back Kafka. These are not outside voices. They just aren't. These are the same voices that were around at some other point. I want them to make changes in a sense that is, if they're bringing in new people to talk about the offense who aren't yes men, I don't need it to be Eric Bieniemy. And I'll be honest, if they just swapped places, I don't think the offense would be better. I don't think that we are willing to admit, and I'm not sure why, the talent discrepancy between the last 3 years of offense and the offensive lines and the wide receivers and the weapons and all this other stuff. And one more thing, Drew, and then I'll say this idea that, because this is the other one I hear a lot, Gold, is, if it was Eric Bieniemy, Jawan Taylor would have been benched by now. Are you kidding me? I watched Demarcus Robinson run backwards for 5 straight years. Eric Bieniemy didn't bench him. He kept running out there. I watched people make mistakes outside of that, make penalties, make holding calls. They didn't just all get benched. The only guy who got benched when Eric Bieniemy was here was LaShawn McCoy, and I'm pretty sure that was Andy's call. So, like, outside of that, it's been the same guys, whether they make mistakes or not. They're going to stay on the field.
I don't know if it's because I think you guys you're right in saying that, like, they did go and they won the Super Bowl, and they've had success. I do think, though, in the same breath, not that would change things, but if you don't have somebody that's there to keep you on your toes, if you will, then I think you start to get too comfortable. And I think that while and I understand they made it last year to the Super Bowl and everything like that, but not that they were comfortable with their mistakes, but I think not having somebody like that in the room allowed for the way this season has kind of happened to happen, where let's say the similar thing happens again, where let's say maybe they make the playoffs, but they still don't look like the Kansas City Chiefs that we're used to, and they go 9-8 and they slide in, or they go 10-7 and they barely make it, but then they lose in the wild card round. But it doesn't. It feels like this team is still grinding through problems all year long, and it doesn't feel like anything's working out. Then I think, and it doesn't even have to be Eric Bieniemy, I guess, to your guys' point, but anybody to be able to hold accountability where you don't get too comfortable with what's happening and just throw your hands up and be like, oh, well, I guess this is what it is, and not feel like there's somebody who's pushing you every day where even if it's good, it's not good enough.
Yeah, we agree on that. We've said it for a few weeks. I'm totally with you on the they need a fresh voice, a fresh set of eyes that Andy Reid is willing to listen to.
Are they ever going to get that, though, with Andy?
And exactly. And that is a big issue. It's one of my big concerns. We can talk all we want about personnel changes this offseason. Is Andy Reid willing to adapt a little bit in terms of having somebody that's not just part of the same group,
the boys club,
and listen to their ideas, etc. I'm with you there. I just think it's weird how a lot of the same people that when EB was trying to get a head coaching job were saying, well, it's not his offense, guys, are now trying to say, well, if he was here, it would all be good. I'm like, it can't be both. I think this is where it can't be the extreme on both ends. I think there's absolute truth to what you said, which is, it's not always best for your quarterback and your OC to just be buddy-buddy. Sometimes you need somebody to tell you, you're wrong, man. Like, you're wrong. This doesn't work. We shouldn't do this. I do think that's a problem. And when you have a season the way they had, we know Andy Reid's not leaving, so there's got to be changes, whether that's a wide receiver coach, a running back coach that's a wide receiver, doesn't make any sense, or whatever it may be. But Eric Bieniemy has also had 3 separate jobs since. Like, let's not act like he went and just was killing it as an OC everywhere else. He's a running back coach. I'd take him back as a running back coach, but that's not going to happen. He's a running back coach with Ben Johnson in Chicago. They got a good thing going there, but he's not calling plays.
And I don't know if this is too far to say, but is it something where Matt Nagy is not comfortable in being that person? Where I think Matt Nagy, if you were to ask Matt Nagy legitimately, let's say Andy Reid didn't have he wasn't in the room, what things would you change about the offense, or is there anything you would change? I'm sure there's some things that Matt Nagy would say, but is that something where he feels that way, but he's not comfortable bringing it up to Andy Reid? Or is it something where he brings it up to Andy Reid, but Andy's like, no, this isn't what we're going to do. We're going to do it this way. And Matt Nagy is just assuming that, well, I'm just going to follow what Andy says because Andy's the one who ultimately makes the call on these things. Because I don't know if Nagy's necessarily a yes man to the point of him just agreeing with everything that Andy Reid says, but I wonder if there's some of it where anything that he brings up, or maybe he's not comfortable in bringing it up in a setting where Andy Reid's in the room. I have no idea.
I think he is. They've known each other long enough that I don't think he just says nothing. I think that they just have too similar of ideas, right? They sit in their room and they all have this like similar concept of how the offense should work, and it all seems like good ideas because everyone's got the same idea. This goes back to what I truly want, and you're right, I'll never be able to know whether or not he'll actually listen to this person. What he desperately needs is someone from the Kyle Shanahan tree, or someone from truly that tree, or the McVay tree, who has a run scheme that is different than their run scheme. Because what they genuinely need is an outside person to be like, hey, there's other run plays, right? Not just the one you guys run, because they run West Coast systems too, by the way. And the number 1 and number 2 most efficient running backs on a per run basis this year both play for Sean McVay. Blake Corum is technically the second most efficient running back in the NFL this year, second only to Kyron Williams. What he needs is somebody who doesn't. Matt Nagy grew up in Andy Reid's system, does the same thing. They have the same ideas at this point. I don't even think it's like a point of dissent, like Andy Reid's or Matt Nagy's afraid to speak up. I think it's that they've worked together so long, the ideas are the same.
Yeah, because look,
But
let's be real.
If difference of thought.
I don't think they're going to, but if they were to move on from Matt Nagy, they probably would just bring back Mike Kafka, which I'm not saying is a downgrade or an upgrade. My point is, it would still be someone that was part of the exact same circle. I mean, this
follows the line of what they do.
And that's not unique to Andy Reid. I mean, this is just how coaching works. They bring in people that are usually connected to them in some way already. That's just typically how this
got
works.
some new ideas of how things work by leaving for 3 years.
I think they need a fresh set of eyes and voice, but if that's something that I don't know if is necessarily going to happen. All right, interesting stuff there. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we'll get to the Chiefs Red half hour. One player who I don't think should play the rest of the way. I'll tell you who that is. We'll also get to the trash of the day. But real quick, there's 3 games left. We know it. Tennessee coming up, then the Broncos and the Raiders before the season is over. What is the biggest thing that you actually want to see or you think could be learned if you are the coaching staff in the final 3 games? Because one is obvious. We've all said it. Find out what you have in Brashard Smith and Jalen Royals.
Can he be in a timeshare starting running back next year? Not the full-time starter.
Your number 2 running back.
But could you draft a guy in the 3rd round and they share the split 60-40 like a lot of backs?
Mm-hmm.
That's number 1, right? We all agree? I think whether or not Jaden Hicks can be a consistent safety for you is an answer you have to get. Because I think they miss Justin Reed and they miss having a veteran safety. And I think you already got your answers on Cook and Connor because they played a huge chunk of the season. You got to find out whether or not Jaden Hicks can play consistent football for the next 3 weeks. That's a huge question for me. And if they can learn it. And the last one is scheme-based for me. It is legitimately, can you find a way to operate different offensively that you can still find some success? And stop leaning on this idea that, we're just 1 drop pass away, 1 penalty away from it all chugging along. And instead answer some of those questions. I wish Tyquan was for sure playing this weekend because I do think he's a kind of player you would be likely to bring back, kind of like in the Justin Watson role again, especially because there's so few wide receivers. I do kind of think if you get a chance, you got to find out what you got in Royals and Thornton, but specifically Thornton because Royals under contract, so I don't have to find out everything about him going into next season. He could still be further down the wide receiver depth chart, but Thornton, because I got to give him a contract or not, kind of feel like I want an answer on him a little bit.
Thornton would feel like, I don't know the exact specifics, but next year, Cody, you try to get him on an incentive-laden 1-year deal.
Yeah.
Something like that. I wouldn't want to go more than 1 year. You're right. Like it was a great story the first 5 weeks of the season. And then since then, they haven't connected, and it just really hasn't been able to be on the field all that much. They take 1 or 2 deep shots to him a game, which is fine, and they just haven't been able to connect. And I know there was the DPI ridiculousness this past week, but still, like they just haven't been able to be able to connect there. So, yeah, it's the young players. The other part is Jalen Moore to a certain extent, and I know he's banged up, so I don't know if we'll get to see him now. But have you seen enough to where you feel good about him as your right tackle next year? Like, I think he's going to be the right tackle next year, let me be clear. But have you seen enough where you feel confident in that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a no.
And he's probably not going to play. Isn't he banged up? He's on the injury list.
Yeah, he's on the injury list.
So, yeah, I don't know if he's going to play much in the final 2 or 3. He's going to. I mean, I would be shocked almost if he's not the right tackle next year. But I don't know. I would like to see a little bit more of what he's looking like to know, do I need to spend a 3rd-round pick on a tackle?
I think you have to anyway. Jalen Moore is going to be on the final year of his deal, and until you have the final answer that Josh Simmons is available all the time, because, again, I'm not calling Simmons injury-prone yet. And forget the off-the-field stuff for just a minute.
Yeah.
I'm not calling him injury-prone yet. He came in the league hurt. He got hurt in year 1. He gets hurt in year 2. Then he is injury-prone. I'm sorry. That would be 3 consecutive years he was unable to complete his season due to injury. Like, whether we call the one freakish, which it kind of was, this season or not, it'd be 3 straight years in which he had missed significant time due to injury. He gets next year to determine whether or not he is. But I think they have to draft one in the 3rd round, probably, maybe 2nd round anyway, a tackle.
Trash of the day.
All right, this one takes us to a deli. Where a couple workers...
I like a good deli.
Yeah. This is in Ohio. A couple people were arrested. Here's what happened, allegedly. On Monday, police rushed to Reuben's Deli in Ohio after getting calls about masked robbers inside. But when officers arrived, Cody, customers were calmly eating and nothing was wrong. It turned out employees Todd and Luis had used ChatGPT to create a fake security camera image showing masked intruders. They sent it to the owner of the restaurant, who then called 911.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they were arrested. They faced swatting charges, obstructing official business, and inducing panic charges. One of the men fled before police arrived and is still out and wanted. They did not catch one of the gentlemen. So they just thought, oh, let's be funny and send a video making an image making it look like our deli's
And
being
your
robbed to the
as a good
boss.
boss,
He called the
cops.
Uh-huh.
So. Also, who just sends out hey, we're getting robbed? You can't joke about that. You can't joke about getting robbed. I mean, maybe in our workplace, no one would think there's like masked robbers all of a sudden coming up to 96.5 The Fan. And even that I wouldn't suggest.
I don't think you should fake that one either, yeah.
No, but at least it would be less likely that Speck would believe us.
Yes.
To the prank part, they have to have some deniability. Like, you got to make it edited so bad that there's no way to believe it. Or make it a situation in which it makes no sense.
They just wanted to prank their boss, it sounds like? Is that what was happening?
guess.
Or you know, what was
That's tough. That's going to be a tough one to have to explain. Poor Todd and Luis are going to have to go to court and explain.
What idiots.
We were just trying to, I'm sorry. We're just stupid. But at 40 and 45, look, this feels like a story gold. If you told me they were 18 and 19 years old, 15 and 17, I'd be like, all right, give them a warning. Teach them the hard lesson of life is serious. You can't joke about that kind of stuff. 40 and 45, you got to know better by that.
Here's another one for you. This involves a 45-year-old UK man. He's been sentenced to 5 years in prison for, among other offenses, but transforming a stapler into a firearm. He turned a stapler into a gun. Not a staple gun, but a stapler into a gun. Yeah, I guess it's the same thing. In March of 2024, he was escorted off the train. An off-duty cop spotted him taking drugs. After being removed, he was searched, and a small amount of crack cocaine was found, along with 2 cell phones and a modified, fully functional stapler gun. Yeah.
I guess you just need a firing pin and some gunpowder? I mean, is it that simple?
So he was shooting like actual bullets compared to...
Yeah, what caliber?
There's a selfie of him posting with the modified staple gun. The weapon was tested. It was classified as a viable firearm equipped with a barrel to fire ammunition. Clips on his mobile phone showed him using the homemade gun, including a video of him test firing it into a field, as well as a selfie posing with it. He claimed the firearm was placed in his suitcase a few months before his trip. He wasn't aware. It was still inside.
Even though he posted it all on social media?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Can you, but here's the thing. It's like, even if you took it in your suitcase, are you allowed to just make a gun? I feel like it's got to be a no, right? I'm not allowed to just go home and engineer project, build my, I don't think that's allowed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I don't know. There's a fact. I assume it's not allowed.
And on a lighter note, a 92-year-old grandmother won a Tekken 8 video game tournament. 92 years old. She won a esports competition. It was featured 8 players. The oldest was 95. She wasn't even the oldest. There was a 95-year-old in the same tournament. Wow. But the 92-year-old beat out 74-year-old in the finals in Tekken 8.
This was a senior tournament?
I mean,
it sounds like
it has to have been.
They're all like in the 90s and 70s.
Has to be, yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine. Like, my grandpa is 95, getting ready to be 96 in January.
Him just popping on the Nintendo Switch and playing Mario Kart or something like that?
Like, I can't imagine what it would be to try to teach him Smash Bros. or something.
What was the prize? I can't find anywhere. Did they win money? What happened? Like, what's the prize?
I would think some of those, like, protein drinks, like some Ensure. A couple of cases of Ensure. Well, you need that. Your bones get weaker.
What, she thinks she just got a bunch of Fiber One?
I'd like to think she got like 1 year supply of Ensure.
That was the tournament sponsor.
Be a
you're
sick
saying,
prize, man.
Got
yeah.
Metamucil. Huh.
I'd like to find out. Yeah, you got to find out the prize.
The trash of the day.
Figure that out.
Up next, we'll get to the Chiefs Red half hour. One player that I don't think should get on the field the final 3 weeks. I'll explain why. And then we get back into what Chris Canty had to say about the Chiefs organization and whether or not they're letting Patrick Mahomes down.
You're listening to Cody and Gold. Tune in for the Chiefs Red Half Hour every day, starting at 11:30 right here on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Danan Hughes here. I've seen a lot of stat lines in my playing days, but these numbers, they caught my attention. Flight by Yingling, 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, and all the crisp, refreshing flavor you want in a light beer. It's brewed by the oldest brewery in America, so you know it's got some serious history behind it. If you're into stats and taste, you're going to love this beer. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer and the official beer of Danan Hughes. DG Yingling & Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
Around here, we've got each other's backs. When it comes to health insurance, we want that same kind of support. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City gets that. They're from around here too. Backed by the national strength of the Cross and Shield, they help you make confident choices, no matter where you are. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
Hey, this is Frank from Woodyard Barbecue, and we have $20 slabs of baby backs and $2 beers for the rest of 2025. With family gatherings happening, Woodyard can cater any size event. We also have firewood, oak for the fireplace, pinyon for the fire pit, and hickory, pecan, and cherry for the smoker. We sell it all by the log or by the bag. We've been in business for over 100 years and are proud to be part of Kansas City barbecue history. Find us at 3001 Merriam Lane in KCK or online at woodyardbbq.com. Kansas City has the best fans and the best barbecue. Eat it, smoke it, live it, Woodyard Barbecue.
What's up, Missouri? Tony Gonzalez here. Your moment is finally here because DraftKings Sportsbook is live in Missouri. You can get in on all the action with fast withdrawals, a safe and secure app, and betting that's easy to use anywhere you go. And the best part, DraftKings keeps the excitement going with awesome promos and offers all season long. That's why it's America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't wait. New customers sign up today. Bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Let's go, Missouri. Get in the game.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 965. New Missouri customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. That's code 965 in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
Hi, this is Kevin Harlan, and I'm here to tell you Rob Sight Ford is closing in on a record-setting year, and they're doing whatever it takes to get there.
That's right, Kevin. We're pulling out all the stops to finish the year strong. 0% for up to 66 months on most Ford models, including F-150s, Escapes, Explorers, Super Duties, and Transits. Top dollar trade-ins and pricing other dealers won't match.
If you've been waiting for the moment to buy, this is it. We've got the vehicles. We've got the deals. We just need one thing, you behind the wheel.
Impeccable rhyme, Kevin. But hey, this is simple, upfront, and easy, and it all ends January 5th.
Kansas City's only top-rated Ford dealer on Google. 4.8 stars, nearly 3,000 reviews, and voted best car dealership in Kansas City by Kansas City Magazine. And now, we're going for the finish line. Rob Sight Ford. Buy right with Rob Sight.
135th and State Line or ROBSIGHT.com. You want inventory, you want price, you want more for your trade. Let's make it happen.
End the year in a Ford before this event drives off.
Hellsberg gifts checked off the list. Now, time for wrapping. Earrings for mom. A gold bracelet to match the rings Danielle wears every day. And for Dad, a new watch, because we all know he needs one. All right, this is going to be a good one.
Our favorite things for your favorite people. Shop in store at Hellsberg.com for up to 50% off.
Pick up Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner on sale now. Buy one, get one free, plus receive 2 times O Rewards points at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Out here in the middle of these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on earth. That's how it feels when you're struggling with your mental health. But you don't have to feel alone. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Great news, Nick. Legacy boxes are still in stock. With Christmas just around the corner, there's still time to buy the best Christmas gift ever. Legacy Box.
That's right, Adam. Order today and Legacy Box ships immediately. It'll arrive ready to wrap and place under the tree.
Gather the family together this Christmas and collect all your old VHS and camcorder tapes, slides, pictures, and film reels. Then you can binge on the good old days.
From fading over time to risks like fire and water damage, your memories aren't protected unless they're on a digital format. Legacy Box helps you replay those great moments from the past, from Christmas morning to your wedding day.
Legacy Box is the world's largest digitizer of home movies and photos. All the work is done right here in the USA, and over 1 million customers have trusted Legacy Box.
This Christmas is the time to digitize. Visit legacybox.com/value for exclusive holiday savings. That's legacybox.com/value for last-minute shopping. legacybox.com/value.
Here's something most doctors know that most men never talk about. Stress from work, money, and family doesn't disappear at night. It could follow you into the bedroom, and suddenly your mind won't let your body do what it used to do naturally. For moments like that, doctors often look for treatments that help both the brain and the body. That's where Rugiet Ready comes in. Unlike those other popular brands, Rugiet Ready is a next-generation drug that helps prime your brain for arousal and increase blood flow. It uses 3 C ingredients in 1 mint that dissolves under your tongue so it absorbs fast. Most men are ready in about 15 minutes on average. Over 150,000 men have already tried Rugiet. A doctor reviews your health online, and if it's appropriate, the prescription ships discreetly to your door. Visit Rugiet.com/sports to get 15% off your first order. That's RUGIET.com/sports. Individual results may vary. Rugiet Ready is a compounded prescription that is not FDA approved. Visit Rugiet.com for full safety information.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this. Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
It is the Chiefs Red Half Hour. We're laughing because we just did the trash of the day about the AI deli robbery thing.
Yeah.
Where someone put up a fake image and sent it to their boss, and their boss called 911, and of course that was a problem. And
Sure.
So somebody just sent you a image of our video stream with money bags and masks photoshopped on both you and I. So thank you for that.
I guess in this case, we're not being robbed. We're just robbing whatever.
Well, you have a background in this.
You've got the bag of cash. All I have on this photo is a
I'll
mask.
take it. I'll take it. Yeah. You've got the background on the banking side of things.
It's true. I've never robbed a bank.
Drew just in the car, the getaway car. Is that what's happening in this hypothetical?
Is Drew the driver in this?
I don't know. Well, he's too busy singing. He's too busy singing in his car. He's not gonna help us. We're gonna get screwed.
We're gonna get distracted. He's got AirPods in. By the way, if you are like us and you're like, boy, Titans game at noon on a Sunday with Gardner Minshew, may I offer another suggestion? You can watch that game, but also play games. I'm going to be at Dave & Buster's on Sunday, Gold.
There you go.
Right at noon, Dave & Buster's, right by Drew's house at the Legends, so maybe he'll come by too, because he lives
I might have to.
a stone's throw away. I am told it is half-price games, and how about this? Mystery prize. My understanding is that there is a $500 prizing of some way. What is it? Don't know. Could be $500 worth of those gold coins sometimes you get in your stocking. Could be one $500 item. That is a mystery. You'll have to figure that out later. But $500 in prizing. Think about all the things it could be, Gold. If you could choose anything for it to be $500?
Sports related, Chiefs related, what?
Anything. I don't care. If it was like AirPod Maxes, I don't care.
$500. I probably would. A hobby box of Topps Chrome basketball that's coming out like today. How about that? And by the way, I think the hobby box is more than that, but you get
more
the
than the 500.
I think there's a chance it is. I don't know, or at least on secondary market. I don't know. Point being, that's what I would answer. Okay. Yeah, go hang out at Dave & Buster's.
It could be that.
You're doing that this Sunday, and then the Raiders game on the what would that be? The 4th? Is that right? Third Sunday of the Raiders game. I'll be at Dave & Buster's as well. So the next couple weeks, just distract us a little bit.
The game can be on. You can pay attention to it, but also we can bet $5 on Papa Shot.
I'm gonna have to find reasons to go because I go every week to Dave & Buster's, so I'm gonna have to find a way to get there.
What's the go-to game? What's the go-to game, Drew?
I'm not trying to get worked over here by Drew.
He's gonna
Dave & Buster's once a week.
We're doing. Yeah, there's gonna be some time where we're gonna do a contest or something, and Drew's gonna sweep everybody. He's going there practicing every week.
Hey, there's ones that we love. The typical clown. You throw the ball and you knock the clown over.
Sure.
Carnival game. The break the plate. There's another one that's kind of like that one.
What's it called? Break the plate.
Break the plate. It's just like the clown one. I like Deal or No Deal. Oh, so they've Connect 4 basketball, which is a good one. I like that one. That one's fun.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that does sound fun.
Among others.
Look, either way,
all right.
We'll see you all out there.
So you'll be there Sunday.
Noon. Yep, at Dave & Buster's at the Legends. I know there's another one out there in Kansas, but the Legends location.
Someone that I don't think should be playing these final 3 weeks for the Chiefs, obviously including Sunday, Xavier Worthy. This guy has a dislocated shoulder. We all know what happened in week 1. He missed a few weeks. He's gutted it out. He's got the sling or the brace, whatever you want to call it, harness. I can't remember which one it is. He's got an ankle injury. He's got a groin injury. I know everybody's banged up, but he actually has injuries. Multiple. And one, I believe the shoulder is still something they're going to have a procedure done on at the end of the year. Why is he playing? Why would you play him? Let him get healed up. He's part of your future. Definitively, he's one of your top 2 receivers probably next season. So why would you not let him rest, give some more reps to Jalen Royals? I know it's trickier now because, unfortunately, Thornton and Rice are already in concussion protocol.
Yes.
So you might just say, hey, somebody's got to be active. But this is a guy that legitimately is hurt and and might need surgery. So why not have that jumpstart his rehab as well?
If you know for a fact he has to have surgery, just give it to him tomorrow. Like,
am I wrong
put him
about
on
that?
the IR and give him the surgery.
Look,
maybe he's got contract incentives. Maybe he's trying to prove a point to the Chiefs.
He doesn't, though. He's on a rookie contract. There's no contract incentives for an extra catch.
Yeah, and so
I don't think so.
I understand this idea, but it's already in a position at the moment that there is no movement in the, what opinion you're going to have about Xavier Worthy after this year. Gold, he could have 400 yards the next 3 weeks, and I don't know that it would swing my opinion of can he do it next year. I understand there's a line, and maybe that's the line. But the point is that there's very little he will do, right, to alter your opinion on what this season was. The team is not in the playoffs, and he's hurt, legitimately hurt.
Yeah, and
just keep him off a football field. That's fine.
And I can't remember. Obviously, he did not have surgery. I can't remember. I thought the idea was that he might need it after the season anyway. So if that's still true, and I admittedly, I do not know if that's 100% accurate. If that is still true, then why wouldn't you just start that? But he's also got other injuries he's dealing with too. It's the ankle. It's as I said, he's got a groin injury on top of it. Just let the guy get healthy.
And it's one of those that the staff is going to have to tell him, right? Not himself, because I think he's shown a willingness. And this is something I did learn about him this year, despite the fact he had a regression year. He's tough.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he's a tough kid for
sure.
He's
He's not the kind that's like, ooh, guys, sorry. And there are players like this. I need a couple of extra weeks. Still feeling a little tight.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna need it because not quite ready yet. I'm almost there. Not in my spirit. Whatever, right? He's not that guy. He's out on the field. He has battled through every injury. He separated his shoulder. He's back on the field like a week and a half or a game and a half later. And he's played every single game since then. He misses a few practices here and there. He's clearly dinged up and not the same player at the moment, but he'll play. And so I'll give him that. Now, I do think he's got to learn, and I'm hoping that it was the injury. He had another. It is probably 5 different instances this season that he should spend his entire season learning how to play in contact with the defensive back. Get the PI call. Go back to the ball.
Go get the ball. Yeah.
Play into the player. Go get the ball, play into the player, borderline run into them to make the contested catch. That's got to be a big part of his offseason. And I'm hoping that maybe it was just the injury goal that made it look like he didn't understand how to play back into these guys, how to be physical with these corners, and that his fear over the injuries is part of the reason he didn't play that way. But, that's got to be a huge part of what we learned. But, to what point? Jawan Taylor doesn't need to play the rest of the way. Xavier Worthy doesn't need to play the rest of the way. Rashee Rice missed too much time. Sorry. If you're healthy, you're cleared of concussion protocol, I'd like to see you the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, if he gets
it's
cleared.
It's not every player for me.
And look, you have to play. I mean, there's a
certain number of players.
There's only so many guys on the roster. So some guys, whether they're a little banged up or not, are going to have to play. And especially now that in your wide receiver room, you might not have Thornton and Rice available Sunday. And so that is why Worthy will be, forced into action. I just think if he's dealing with all this and he's a crucial piece of the future, he's someone that I would seriously consider just sitting down the rest of the season. I'm not saying he wants that, but I think that'd be a conversation I would certainly have with him.
Who would be next then? Jason Brownlee? Is that who you'd roll out as well?
Fine, yeah.
I mean, I got to go look at the practice squad, but sure.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, not that I think that he's some future star, but just I would rather save someone that I know is going to be a part of my future and let him get a head start on the offseason rehab and get in a good spot heading into to the training camp. And I know it feels like, well, he's got plenty of time to do that.
Right? That's the other one.
I don't know who the hell that is.
I don't know. It's Christmas time. Seems like a nice guy to call up at that time.
Jimmy Holiday?
Jimmy Holiday playing on Christmas Day? Drew, come on.
I'm waiting for Drew to give us a breakdown of where he played college.
No, because I was...
You don't know who Jimmy Holiday is?
The only other guy named Holiday I remember was Vonnie Holiday back in the day. Played for the Chiefs on the defensive line.
One of the biggest human beings I've ever seen in real life.
Vonnie Holiday. When did the Chiefs draft him? He was like, was he a Chiefs draft pick or a free agent? He was a free agent signing.
I saw him outside
He wasn't a Chiefs pick. Sorry, he was drafted by the Packers.
I saw him outside of Houston's with Tony Gonzalez, and I thought he made Tony Gonzalez look.
I just looked him up.
Skinny.
6'5", 288. Every day.
Jimmy Holiday, by the way, started at Tennessee, went to Western Kentucky, then went to Louisiana Tech. He was undrafted in 2025.
Okay. All right, so he's an extra body to have around.
Christmas time. Come on, Jimmy Holiday.
Holiday.
Is he born in December or Christmas time? Can you tell me about that?
Yes, he was born December 16th. He just had his birthday. He just turned 24.
Right. All aboard the Jimmy Holiday train.
Oh, my
One in
goodness.
called up for the Christmas Day game on Thursday. Don't want any of these guys with concussions,
Right.
Tyquan Thornton, short week, short week into Christmas.
You're saying you
Get Jimmy
want,
Holiday up.
You want a 10-target day for Jimmy Holiday on Christmas.
Hell yeah.
He was signed as an undrafted free agent after last year, and then he was on the practice squad, and then he got cut, and then the Seahawks signed him, and then he got cut again, and then the Chiefs just signed him.
Someone says he's also a returner. Brent says over on YouTube, he did some of the return stuff in the preseason. Well, let's find out if he can do better than Nico Remigio because he can't do worse. They've been so bad at kick returns, nobody could do worse.
His Wikipedia page says he has publicly shared that he doesn't eat green vegetables despite being a professional athlete. Okay.
So no broccoli, no salad.
His favorite NFL team is the Saints.
Why are we learning so much about Jimmy Holiday?
Because
what else do we know?
Because that's all I know. That's all I know.
That was it? Those are the 2 fun facts?
That's all it says. Yep. Jimmy Holiday does not eat green vegetables. Good to know. Very important stuff here on a Thursday.
Honestly, again, I hope he gets activated.
Why not? Why not? Someone said, are there any tight ends you want them to play? Yeah, I would like to see more Robert Tonyan. I would like to see Brenningstool a little bit. They just activated him. Why not?
More Noah Gray. Give him an extended look.
I guess, yeah.
It's just all snaps away. And this is Kelce. He shouldn't be playing 90% of the snaps like he did for a huge chunk of the season, but he's still going to be on the field.
Well, let him get there's a couple milestones he has earned the right to have an opportunity to get, no doubt. I mean,
a couple hundred yards to 1,000.
And then there's some reception, like there's like 6 receptions away from passing Bolden, Anquan Bolden and T.O. on like 8th all time. So let him have an opportunity to do that kind of stuff.
Agreed.
Other than that, play some young guys, man. I agree with the text line. Someone says elevate Dameon Pierce. I agree. I more want to get Brashard Smith touches before I would want to get Dameon Pierce touches. But I hear you. I hear you.
I'm looking at right now the way this team works anyway, and I don't think the teams let Patrick Mahomes down. We played the Chris Canty audio earlier, suggesting that they're not setting him up for success. This is what he had to say.
They have not protected the franchise, which is Patrick Mahomes. This year, Patrick Mahomes is the second most contacted quarterback. Over the last 3 years, no quarterback has been hit more on dropbacks than Patrick Mahomes. And oh, by the way, during that same span, their receivers lead the league in drops, and they're 22nd in rushing. So you mean to tell me your quarterback doesn't have any protection, your quarterback doesn't have reliable receivers, and you have no reliable running game to lean on? Got it. That's the best way to accentuate a top 5 quarterback of all time. It makes no sense. Everybody that's in charge in decision-making power in Kansas City needs to look themselves in the mirror, and they need to get serious about trying to do right by Patrick Mahomes by fortifying that roster and putting better supporting cast around him. And until they do, we will look at one of the greatest talents that we've seen at the quarterback position in NFL history and wonder why he can't get back to the level that we saw him at through the first 7 years of his career.
So that was Chris Canty. I think a couple things that he said there I agree with, and a few things I think are way off. Number one, moving forward, absolutely, the Chiefs have to look at the future of Patrick Mahomes, knowing that he's not as athletic at age soon to be 31 as he was at 25, that they have to make sure they continue and even more so invest around him. But also, this goes to the coaching conversation we had earlier. What can we do as an organization with the coaching staff to make sure that we are implementing an offense and scheme that best represents 2026 and beyond? The running back point, we're all on the same page. They need to have some sort of a complementary explosive backfield that he has not had in numerous years. Really, ever, frankly. I mean, we have to go back to 2018.
Rookie year, before he got suspended and kicked off the team.
So that's about it. But in terms of investment, there's the results in, and it is a results-based business. But the idea that the organization is just not invested around him is false. We may not like the results in some players' circumstances with draft picks, but they have invested on the offensive line. Nobody can claim they have not. Now, has it always been perfect? No. They have whiffed on certain guys. But they just spent a first-rounder on Josh Simmons. They spent a second-rounder on Kingsley, who's now your starting left guard. They have found their future right guard, and they paid him the highest-paid guard in football, Trey Smith. Same thing with Creed Humphrey. Juwan Taylor, while we all agree that it's been frustrating, they went out and spent $80 million on a right tackle. This idea that they have not invested to protect and they're letting down Patrick Mahomes. I don't think they have. I'm worried about them doing that in the future. This year, they did let him down. And beyond here, they got to make sure they don't. But resource-wise, the first 7-8 years, they have not let him down.
This is the first season they let him down. And in a way, just because they way undervalued running back, way undervalued it, and did not think through the course of action that was Rashee Rice misses 6 games. What the hell is our wide receiver going to look like, and how long is it going to take this thing to come together? So this year they did. In roster-wise. The rest of the time, they went to 5 Super Bowls in 6 years. Pretty hard for me to say they've left him out in the dust, just to rot. It's not like that. I will say, rather than focus on how do we make all these things perfect, I think if they could just make one of these things, one of the 3 best in the league, they're fine. Either be one of the 3 best teams in the league at offensive line, like Denver is, be one of the 3 best teams in the league at weapons, like Cincinnati, or be one of the 3 best teams, have an elite level running game that takes real pressure off of your quarterback and swing for the fence and do what the morning show said and trade for Bucky Irving or draft a guy like Jeremiah Love, but choose to be great at one of these things. This year, the problem is that they were average to below average in all 3. They do not have a top 15 wide receiver unit. They do not have a top 15 running game. They do not have a top 15 offensive line by the time it shook out. You and I think that the top 15, top 10, top 5 offensive line is not super unattainable. If you have a right tackle that you can trust, the rest of the pieces are falling into place.
And the one thing that gets lost in the injury, though, I think, look, we all saw the ACL injury, and this year has been so frustrating. But remember, the play in which, if you're using the injury as, why they haven't protected him, Patrick Mahomes was rolling out to the right. He had a backup left tackle and a backup right tackle. And frankly, he had, the second backup, if not the third backup.
Would you like him to be so deep that their third right tackle you don't even notice?
So, that play, you can't use that play as, the proof of that the offensive line is bad or the proof. That wasn't the pocket collapsed on Patrick Mahomes and he got sacked and tore his ACL. He rolled out. He rolled out. And it's an unfortunate situation that happened.
Somebody from the 620. So you want them to have an outstanding running back they never use.
Well, this goes back to the coaching part. They need to be willing. They need to be willing to use a running back a bit more. I also think
when they've had elite level running backs, they've used them.
You need the explosiveness. You need to have a running back. We don't have to rehash the entire thing. We went through the top playoff teams in the AFC and the NFC this year. Every single one has a back or 2 that you can see, because we've seen it, take a 10-yard run and turn it into a 25-yard run. The Chiefs have not had that in years. They just haven't.
The Chiefs had Kareem Hunt lead the league in rushing in 2017, so they used him then. Go back to Andy Reid in Philly. They used Brian Westbrook. When they've had good backs, they use them. But also, it isn't about the usage, the run-pass ratio, because here's the truth. I don't care if they get Bijan Robinson in Kansas City. I'd still like Patrick Mahomes to throw more than Bijan Robinson runs. Sorry. Best quarterback in the NFL. I'd like him to throw more than any running back. Name it. Name the running back. And it's still, I'm going to want Patrick Mahomes to have the ball more than that. And so I just, there's still a limitation for what it is. And I do think that they've been more willing to do that outside of it. Has this year been bad because they've been behind a lot? Yes. They are 7th highest in pass rate this year, but they are most years.
But moving forward, who's the next star? Kelce is likely retiring. So Chris Jones is on the tail end of his career. Trent McDuffie, we'll see what his future is in Kansas City. Yeah, they have the player option. They could also tag him, but his name continues to come up already. Jeremy Fowler mentioning the trade stuff like we did a few days ago. He mentioned it yesterday. So we'll see how that plays out with McDuffie. But who's the next star player to go along with Patrick Mahomes? Is that a free agent signing? Is it via trade? Or most likely, and also the best case scenario, it's through the draft over the next year or 2. They have to find the next foundational pillars for Mahomes' remainder of his career.
Yep.
And that is how we're going to determine whether or not this all is blown up in a year or 2, whether or not Patrick Mahomes gets back to Super Bowls. All that is going to be determined by, do they find the next pillars for this franchise over the next 5 to 10 years?
Which is why they're going to be tempted at pick 12 with guys like Carnell Tate. Because if you draft the wide receiver right and you hit gold, you have Patrick Mahomes' number 1 wide receiver for the rest of his career. Right? You just get it. It's like the Simmons one. You get it right with pick 12, you could have a foundational piece to go with your star quarterback for the rest of his career. You could have his Reggie Wayne or whatever. And he had that for a while in the early part of his career with Tyreek Hill. they eventually traded him away. And he's had that with Travis Kelce for the first half of his career. I don't think at this point that guy's going to end up being Xavier Worthy. I think there's still a chance Rashee Rice could turn into that, but he didn't happen this year.
We'll see.
He still ended up being like a pacing for 1,200-yard wide receiver in the games he played. So I don't want to make it seem like Rashee Rice did nothing. That's just not accurate. He would have ended up being like top 20 in receiving yards this year had he played the entire season at the rate he is currently catching the football. It just didn't come with the explosiveness, and I don't want 6'4", 65 to be their best wide receiver all the time.
Frankly, the worry with him, other than, hey, can he prove that he can have another back-to-back, off season of not having any trouble or anything? There's that. On the field, though, he's taken some good hits here. And unfortunately, he's in concussion protocol, going across the middle, quick slants. I hope it does. I'm not saying he will be. I hope that doesn't impact him to where he's a little, gun shy across the middle of the field, right? Yeah. Because he's been put in some bad spots and he's taken some big drilled
this week.
And this one, of course, landed him on the concussion list.
Yeah, I mean, he's taken last month. Mahoems threw a couple of hospital balls, but also goes back to what we said yesterday. It's also the predictability of their offense, right? They're running into issues because do you know why these safeties can go down here and just ruin Rashee Rice's day? Because the ball's not going over his head, Gold. They know what's going to happen. It's 3rd and 5. Rashee Rice is going to run a 7-yard slant. And the second he touches that football, I'm going to ruin his day. And so, that's just some of that's just the predictability of where they are and who they've been as a team and all these other issues that go in there. Lots of people playing, mentioning Jeremiah Love and George Pickens and all these other guys who are available in draft and free agency. Pickens is getting
Cardell Tate's
right?
comp on one side is George Pickens minus the effort and character stuff. So there you go.
Dream player, honestly.
I know Bink and Chris and Osero character concerns. They had Carnell Tate in this mock draft. It's so early, but that is one.
Would you be upset if they spend it on a wide receiver? Because you want defensive line so bad?
I wouldn't be upset. My priority still is defensive line, but also we're so far out. Is this a good defensive line draft? Maybe it's not. If so, this is the conversation that gets more interesting as we go. I told you this far out, I am set on defensive line, but it's December 18th. So let's see where things go as the offseason goes. What do the Chiefs do in free agency? Do they make a trade? Throughout the combine process, is there a player that emerges that becomes more of an option? Do we find out that there's actually some more wide receiver depth than we thought? Next year, 2027, is the better wide receiver draft overall, but that doesn't mean that Carnell Tate's not going to be a stud in the league. So we got all sorts of time to figure that out.
Top 30 players in ESPN's best available. Jeremiah Love's number 1, by the way. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defensive linemen in the top 15.
Okay.
So, and that wouldn't be uncommon, but quite a few wide receivers as well.
All right, coming up next, guys, we will get to what's trending. We'll get to all 32 and back into what RG3 had to say about rehab and recovery for Patrick Mahoems.
This is Cody and Gold. Tune in for Nate Taylor every Tuesday at 1 o'clock, right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Cody and Gold are brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Every NFL Thursday is your chance to hit the jackpot on FanDuel, because with FanDuel's Thursday touchdown jackpot, you can win a share of $2 million in bonus bets each week. To get in on this Thursday's action, all you have to do is place an anytime touchdown score bet before the game kicks off. And if your player scores the first or last touchdown of the game, you'll win your bet plus a share of bonus bets. Just visit FanDuel.com/Alex to take a shot at the jackpot. That's FanDuel.com/Alex for your chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets. You can play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and President, Kansas, opt in. Must apply a profit boost token on select market. Prize pool will be split equally among all eligible participants who made the correct first or last touchdown pick. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 21 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Caesars Sportsbook is the only sportsbook app with Caesars Rewards. Bet on gridiron action and earn perks on every game, like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code Radio250BM and get your first bet matched as a bonus bet up to $250, whether you win or lose. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Missouri. Open to new users only. Minimum odds, -500. Awarded as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Bonus bet amount not returned for winning bets. Void where prohibited. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
For moments worth more, celebrate this holiday season with Stella Artois. Stella Artois is teaming up with your local Hy-Vee and Johnny's to help make your holiday gatherings a little brighter. Whether you're hosting family, catching up with friends, or raising a toast to togetherness, let Stella elevate the moment. Visit your nearby Hy-Vee or Johnny's and enter at the Stella Artois displays for a chance to win a $100 gift card. For more details, go to 965thefan.com. Stella Artois. Enjoy responsibly.
Prostate cancer. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed in their lifetime, but early detection can save lives. That's where KCUC comes in. They're the premier center for urology and oncology, with over 50 elite providers and more than 20 locations across the metro. KCUC makes it easy to get screened fast in the comfort of an office, not a hospital. Schedule your screening today at kcuc.com. Don't wait. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. kcuc.com. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
Hi, guys. This is the Rocket Roger Clemens. You don't pitch in the majors for 24 years without feeling it later. Shoulders, elbows, knees. Trust me, pain doesn't retire when you do.
That's baseball legend Roger Clemens.
I tried the ice. I tried rest, PT, nothing really worked. When I heard about QC Kinetics, the concept sounded promising. Non-surgical regenerative treatments that help your body heal itself without surgery. Sign me up, just what I needed, real lasting relief.
Whether you're a former pro, a weekend golfer, or just want to walk around pain-free again, QC Kinetics uses cutting-edge technology and natural biologics to help restore and repair damaged tissue.
I trusted them with my joints. Now I'm back doing what I love.
Call QC Kinetics today and schedule your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. 816-412-6299.
Hey, football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown in the game, but his teammate scores instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. With BetMGM's second chance offer, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. Try a first TD score wager with confidence today. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Whether you're gifting, decorating, or treating yourself, Lowe's December deal drops are here to help you save more all month long. Get up to 75% off select holiday decor. Plus, get up to 45% off select tools and accessories. Shop new December deal drops every week this month and get so much more out of your holidays. Lowe's, we help, you save. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Here's something most doctors know that most men never talk about. Stress from work, money, and family doesn't disappear at night. It can follow you into the bedroom, and suddenly your mind won't let your body do what it used to do naturally. For moments like that, doctors often look for treatments that help both the brain and the body. That's where Rugiet Ready comes in. Unlike those other popular brands, Rugiet Ready is a next-generation drug that helps prime your brain for arousal and increase blood flow. It uses 3 C ingredients in 1 mint that dissolves under your tongue so it absorbs fast. Most men are ready in about 15 minutes on average. Over 150,000 men have already tried Rugiet. A doctor reviews your health online, and if it's appropriate, the prescription ships discreetly to your door. Visit Rugiet.com/sports to get 15% off your first order. That's RUGIET.com/sports. Individual results may vary. Rugiet Ready is a compounded prescription that is not FDA approved. Visit Rugiet.com for full safety information.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at TheFan965 for behind-the-scenes videos like MVP Monday, Chiefs Take Tuesday, and Best Bets. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ, FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. What's trending?
God dang!
Brought to you by Telly Tire and Auto Centers. Winning starts with a great drive. Since 1942, Telly's certified techs have delivered complete car care with top brand tires and expert auto service. Keep your drive going. Take it to Telly. Visit TellyTire.com today.
Number 1 on What's Trending. We'll find out a little bit more in about an hour or so about Thursday's practice report for the Chiefs. We know yesterday, though, Leo Chanel, Trent McDuffie, Jalen Moore, Rashee Rice, Jawan Taylor, Tyquan Thornton all did not participate. Chris Jones was also limited in practice with a hamstring injury. Plus, a lot of players popped up with full participant, including the one that is still kind of bizarre, Cody. Hollywood Brown was a full participant, but remember, he missed last week's game for personal reasons. He's still listed as a personal reason for an injury, but he was a full participant. So he's got a bunch of incentives here the final couple weeks of the season, including $750,000 if he gets a touchdown in one of the final 3 games. So we'll see if he ends up playing or if they shut him down.
Yeah, we'll see. Certainly makes a difference on whether or not and how they choose some of these players going forward. But there's a few guys I don't need to see another snap from this year. Next up on What's Trending, Missouri quarterback Bo Pribula entering the transfer portal. That according to PowerMizzou.com. Eli Drinkowitz had sent out a tweet earlier pretty much just being like, can't wait to see Zollers play in the Gator Bowl for their upcoming bowl game. But yeah, big hit for Missouri, who's lost multiple wide receivers over the last few weeks, will also lose their starting quarterback. Bo Pribula heading to the transfer portal. As you know, he joins Dylan Raiola and a few others, some big names actually out there in the quarterback market. So Missouri wants to tread in those waters. They could try to bring somebody else in instead of him, but we'll see.
Elsewhere in What's Trending, the Chicago Bears exploring, as we all know, a new stadium, and now it looks like they're turning their attention perhaps to include Indiana. I know right around here we have the state line with Kansas, Missouri, and it's already been in play for a while. We all know we're expecting maybe some news on that soon, but the Bears are looking at going to, Northwest Illinois?
Yep.
Or
Northwest Indiana.
Indiana, sorry, yeah.
Hammond, Gary area, Merrillville.
The second the State House told them that's not a priority for us this year, they're like, we're going to Indiana. That's the one thing about being on a state line, at least. And not that the Chicago Bears would leave the general area, but you might be looking at a 45-minute drive outside of town just to go to a Bears game. I imagine that'll piss some people off, but also this is the way the stadium.
Indiana can have 2 NFL teams. How about that?
I will say the stadium stuff, since the public interest in paying for these stadiums has dwindled, has turned into way more of a threat all the time. They're just constantly living in this we'll leave, we're out of here. And so I think fans are probably getting tired of that. Next up on What's Trending, speaking of teams, one was sold. The Pittsburgh Penguins. You might remember them as a threat to Kansas City briefly when they flirted with Kansas City to actually just get their new arena over there in Pittsburgh. They've been sold for $1.7 billion to a Chicago-based Hoffman family. It's one of the highest ones in, I'm pretty sure, NHL history. Saw a 16% increase in their value from the previous year, according to the front office.
Not a bad return on the old investment. They bought the team for 5 years, and now they're already selling it. Not a bad way to just make some quick money.
You don't see that as often, but yeah, that's a quick way. Gaining 16% in not 16% of $100 bucks. 16% of like 1.4 billion, 1.5 billion. Make a cool couple $100 million just by laying in the cut.
Elsewhere on what's trending, Cowboys defensive coordinator, former Bears head coach Matt Eberflus telling reporters he's going to now move up from the sideline to the coaching booth. It's kind of the reverse. Normally you get the he's going to come down from the booth. He's going to be right there on the sideline. It's going to help him. He's doing the reverse. He's getting his ass up in the coaching booth and off the sideline.
Yeah,
I'm sure that'll solve everything.
Lastly, no, it never does. Lastly, it's the Tobias Funke thing from Arrested Development. Has it ever worked for them? No, it hasn't. But it might work for us. Lastly, on what's trending, massive Thursday night football game tonight over on Prime. The Rams versus Seattle. Both 11-3 squads. If Seattle were to pull the upset tonight against the Rams, then both would control their fate. Both Seattle and the 49ers would control their fate of getting into the playoffs. They would not need any assistance. As it sits right now, some of those teams could still need some assistance getting into, to win the NFC West. So we'll see whether or not that actually plays itself out. Huge game, though.
And the Rams got into Seattle late because of some plane issues and everything.
And McVay had to take a different plane because he had like a bug.
Oh, is that right? I thought that was last week. Or is that this week?
I thought that was this week.
I thought that was last week that he was sick.
Oh, okay, maybe. I might be getting mixed up.
Unfortunately, mentioning plane, I'm just seeing this come across. This is some sad news coming out of North Carolina. This is from WSOC, a local news channel in North Carolina. Multiple deaths after a plane crash at Statesville Regional Airport. Reports are that NASCAR driver Greg Biffle owns the plane. It's unclear, though, if he was on board.
Oh, man.
But this is just coming out from a news station there. Obviously terrible no matter who was on the plane. But,
of course.
But in terms of in our world with sports, something to keep an eye on. But there's video clearly of a very awful situation with a plane crash at a regional airport, and the plane is reportedly owned by a NASCAR driver. So
he did a lot of really good things when the hurricanes hit in North Carolina. He would fly, because I think he's a licensed pilot. He'd fly supplies and stuff to people. He was very involved with that.
So awful news, no matter who ends up being on board or not.
Yeah,
but we'll keep an eye on that. Someone texted in on a much lighter note, said, "Hey, you guys didn't bring up the Missouri State in the Xbox Bowl tonight." That's
Drew's fault.
That's Drew. Drew's got to remind us of this. This is his squad. Missouri State is his squad.
Jacob Clark and company. Nick Petrino is the interim there.
Who?
Nick Petrino.
Bobby Petrino's son, I assume?
Really? Oh, gosh.
And Bobby's been hanging out, of course. With his son there.
So Nick Petrino's going to be the next head coach there.
No, that's no guarantee at all whatsoever.
That's what's going to happen. And then Bobby Petrino's just going to be kicking it, giving him a little advice.
I mean, he might be a factor there in the job search. The AD said as soon as the bowl game's over with, they're going to get somebody by the time the portal opens, which makes complete sense. So there's a bevy of rumors out there with candidates for that job, which has all of a sudden turned into a pretty decent-looking job, given how they played this season in their first year in FBS play.
Yeah, it's looking like a better.
Let's see if they can do what Delaware did yesterday and become the second FCS school to move up and win in their first season a bowl game, because Delaware won last night in their bowl game.
Oh, the Brett Veach special, the Blue Hens, right? I only know that because of Brett Veach.
They have the Michigan helmets, but a different shade of blue.
I don't know. I don't know mascots the same way Drew does. I just happen to know that one because of Brett Veach. And
they played Louisiana. You know who Louisiana is?
Raging Cajuns?
Yeah.
That's just another one that stands out only because it's unique.
Yeah.
If you're a hawk or a bulldog or an eagle,
you'd be better off just guessing that for anybody, and you'll eventually hit on somebody.
Yeah.
Just an update on what we were talking about during what's trending with the plane crash at a regional airport in North Carolina. This is from WAME Radio, which is a radio station there in that area. This is from their official account. This is just what they tweeted. This is their information. It says multiple sources are now reporting that Greg Biffle, NASCAR driver, his wife, and children were on the plane that crashed in Statesville. They're working to confirm all the information. They're hearing this from their sources, though. So that's the latest update on the plane crash there in North Carolina. Coming up in about 25-30 minutes or so, we will get to some fantasy football, as Paul Charchian is going to get you set for fantasy football championships, a lot of leagues, if not semifinals. I also, during Random Question, have a scenario to present to you.
Okay.
It's a weird spot to be in, but I'll explain that in just a bit. Before we get to all 32, Patrick Mahomes, we all know, has a long road of recovery ahead with the ACL and LCL injury, and plenty of former players have chimed in with their experience and their, Tom Brady, we played you the audio a couple days ago, and advice he was given to Patrick Mahomes. RG3 certainly has knowledge about this, unfortunately, as well when it comes to the ACL injury. What he suggested, though, is not something any doctor has said is on the table. Listen to this.
Yeah, I mean, the number one advice I would give to Micah Parsons and Patrick Mahomes right now is to not play next year. And it's because of when they got hurt. They both got hurt in December. You know, you look at these injuries, and we've seen guys come back in 6 months, 8 months, 9 months. And it would be 9 months for both of them if they were ready to go week one. But you don't really feel like yourself until about 15 months after the injury. And some guys will even tell you, hey, it took me 24 months to truly feel like myself again. And don't get me wrong, 80% of Micah Parsons is better than dang near almost every pass rusher in the NFL. 80% of Patrick Mahomes is better than almost every quarterback in the NFL. But I look at it from a standpoint because of my own experience. And these guys aren't me. But I tore my ACL and my LCL, the same injury that Patrick Mahomes has right now. And I wouldn't have played in 2013 if hindsight, which it is 2020, I wouldn't have played the following year because I wasn't back to myself yet.
Look, RG3, nobody knows your own body better than yourself, and that's what he is convinced he would have rather done, albeit. We've had a former NFL trainer on the show. I listened to the interview that Carrington had with a former NFL team doctor. Nobody, and I mean nobody, has suggested that is in play or you need to do that. Now, is he ready week 1? Nobody knows. Is he ready week 10, week 4? Who knows, right? And I think we all recognize you're not going to be 100% when you come back in week 1. There's no way 100% of who you are prior to the injury. So he's not wrong, like is saying that he didn't feel right until the next year. That might be true. Patrick Mahomes might be sitting here in November and tell us all, yeah, I'm finally starting to feel like myself again. That might be a thing we have a conversation about.
If he starts the season slow,
nobody has suggested he does not need to sit out all of next season. That's crazy. Nobody has said that.
It's also just hard because RG3's career was never the same again. He got hurt.
Yeah.
And then essentially that was it. That was the end of his career. He played the following year, and then he maybe played 20 games, 25 games after that. Most of them in a backup capacity. Kirk Cousins had then taken the job, and he was never going to see the field again. And he bounced around with a few other teams, but never looked good enough to do it. And it'd be easy, if I were him, to look back and say, if I just sat that year out, I'd still been me. And nobody would have questioned it, and I would have come back, and I would have had a starting job and all those other things. They're not going to let Patrick Mahomes risk serious issue by coming back too soon. They're just not going to do that. I don't fear that, Gold. I don't know about you, but I don't fear
I don't fear that at all. And again, I think there's truth that it might be 2027 before he feels like he's exactly how he was before. That might be true, but that's not the athletes, unless they have a setback, they don't just take a year off because they're like, I'll be even better. Like if you're cleared medically, you're not in risk of re-injuring yourself any more than you would have otherwise, then he's going to get cleared when he's cleared.
Now, I do wonder about the mental part of this. That is part of the way this injury works is he, for the first time in his career, was going to get like a break. Like an actual...
Mahomes this offseason. Yeah.
Mahomes was going to get an actual break. Time to decompress. Time after the new year to spend time with his family and his young kids and go on vacation and relax for 5 seconds for the first time in his entire NFL career. Remember, his entire NFL career has him going to the AFC Championship game or a Super Bowl. This man works until February, and then the draft comes around, and then the offseason comes around. He's going to get to rest. And now instead, his offseason is going to be worse. Mm-hmm. Worse than normal. He's going to have to spend every single second of his entire offseason rehabbing a very painful knee injury instead. So, no mental break. No break at all, as a matter of fact. Less of a break than you've been getting. And we already felt like you could have used a break. So I do think that's going to be a huge hurdle to overcome. This idea that, even if you lose the playoffs, at least there's this weird side benefit where Chris Jones can rest his legs all of January and February for the first time in 7 years. And he's not even going to get to do that. He's not even going to get to do that. He's just going to have to work and rehab and all this stuff. And I heard Schrager mention it and Kling yesterday and all these others. It's a really good point, and it just creates a whole nother problem, or not problem, but a whole nother challenge for him this offseason.
All right, all 32. I'll start us off here. What Tom Brady had to say. He was talking with Adam Lefkoe the other day on a podcast and looking at what Phillip Rivers is doing. And, of course, and now everybody's asking Tom Brady,
Could you do it?
What would it be like for you just to come back? Here's what he said.
Would you be ready to go right now?
I'd whoop right now.
Would you really?
Absolutely. I could go out there and play. Give me a month. I mean, I could go play with anybody.
Seriously? 31 days.
And like I said, I took care of my body great. I mean, everything is, I could do it all. And I just, what I wouldn't want to do is make the commitment to play. Because it's like, I would say it's like basketball season. Do you really want to commit to playing 82 games? That takes a lot of training. And it's like, I don't want to do that anymore.
But if you could come back for just the finals.
Okay, yeah, for just the finals.
So that was Adam Lefkoe with Shaq, and then, of course, Tom Brady. Oh, I have no doubt. If you told me, Tom Brady's 48, by the way. If Tom Brady just had to play 1 or 2 games, I think he would crush it. He said he would whoop ass. I don't know why they bleeped it. That he would absolutely do that. Now, as he was saying, a whole 17, 18 game schedule, not at 48. No way. But and he's not coming back. He's got $350 million in a broadcast deal and all that. But absolutely, I think if he had to play 1 game and you gave him a week to get ready, I think he would crush
it.
If
the Chiefs made the playoffs and they knew they couldn't have Mahomes, you would take Tom Brady here in Kansas City.
This is the sickest thing. We've had this conversation before. Is it related to injury? Or let's say it happened to the Bills this week and Josh Allen got hurt. You cheer for the laundry. You would have to. If Josh Allen got hurt and Tom Brady said, hey, I'll come play the playoff run for you guys and get the Buffalo Bills their first ever Super Bowl in their franchise history.
Hate it.
And Bills fans would hate it worse. But do you want the Super Bowl or not? Do you want the ring? Josh Allen still gets a ring. He still gets to sit in the back of a truck. He was the biggest benefactor of driving the team towards it. Like, do you want your team to win a championship? Tom Brady's one of the few players, Gold, that I think some people would be like, no, I'd rather not have the championship than have Tom Brady win it.
Here in Kansas City, I think there's some people who might think that for some reason.
Buffalo are 2 for sure.
You think Buffalo? I think in Buffalo, I don't think Buffalo would care.
I don't think so.
Because they've never had one before.
Gold, do you think Buffalo would accept it? Josh Allen's out for the, let's just say he was out for the year. And Tom Brady said, I'll come finish it out. And you knew that it ended in a Super Bowl win. Would Buffalo fans accept?
They've never won
Tom
before.
Brady stepping in and winning the Super Bowl instead of Josh Allen.
Yes, they'd be idiots not to. They lost 4 straight Super Bowls.
It'd make their guy look
in the
so
90s.
bad.
Even if you were a Chiefs fan, I think it's less crazy for you to not like it because the whole GOAT argument and everything like that.
It would definitely damage that and in that for sure. But
I do think that
you take your rings when you can get them.
100%.
Rings, you just don't give any
remember,
of those.
like the franchise is there forever. Like no matter how legendary players come and go. Now in this case, Brady and Mahomes. You should never let those players go. Like the Patriots still made a massive mistake ever letting Tom Brady go. He should have always retired in his last game should have been with the Patriots uniform. They screwed that one up. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the team as a fan, your team is always there. 50 years from now, your team is the team still. Players come and go all the time.
Yes, correct. I mean, I feel like you just got to do it, but there'd be people that fight it. That's for sure. I think we got a problem in the NFL, and we better start discussing it. Because it's 2 times in the last 3 weeks. Gold, you might remember, the Kansas City Chiefs got called like a first down, got overturned by replay review. And we're like, man, short. What are you talking about? Andy Reid gets ready to throw the challenge flag. You're at the game. You're like, why is Andy challenging something that the NFL sky judge already said was there? And then they were, oh, no. Sorry, we were wrong. Well, according to Pro Football Talk, the NFL privately apologized to the Panthers replay review that changed an on-field ruling for the catch by Ted McMillan. Catch the Drew, I said, I couldn't understand why it wasn't a catch. They are overturning calls now and getting them wrong. I had been blindly accepting.
That call screwed me over so much.
I had been blindly accepting that the sky judge was correct. They're not. So get rid of it. Like, I'm sorry. If it's wrong, then get rid of it. Now we're just wasting our time. Now I just know it's not right.
Yeah, we always
now
assume
it's just not right
that
sometimes.
we assume the sky judge was basically like challenging, as in it was going to be the correct call, and now all of a sudden they have been struggling with that. Yeah, I don't think they need to get rid of it, but it's bizarre that I guess the sky judge is now a challengeable thing. What?
Like, how stupid. So the play calls one thing, they overturn it, and I can still challenge it to be like, no, you're wrong still. Look at it again. Why did you change it in the first place? It has to be, the sky judge has to be clear and convincing. Otherwise, shut up.
Yeah, I
Don't
agree.
change the call. Shut up if you're not sure. Why are you just to do something?
That ended
You're just sitting there, feel like you got to make your job make sense?
That ended the Panthers drive late. Don't bring I'd finally
That
gotten
ruined a parlay?
Yes. Panthers minus 2.5.
Ugh.
Man, that's tough.
Yeah. I didn't realize that was what happened with the review. That makes me upset now. Thank you for that.
Mile 32. This might give you some joy. I don't know, because of how much you dislike the team that plays in Southwest Ohio.
Accurate.
It feels like Joe Burrow is soft launching a warning sign. He soft launched one yesterday. I think we have the sound in the system.
I feel like he declared.
I got it for you.
I feel like he declared war. You thought it was a soft launch?
You can go ahead and play it, Alex.
Okay.
In your mind, when you're not the quarterback of the Bengals next year.
I can't see that, no.
Did you ever thought about the possibility of not being the quarterback here during your career, or?
You think about a lot of things.
That wasn't a no. Where's the no?
Yes, I think
Every quarterback answers that no.
this is I will say this, and I do respect Joe Burrow a lot for this. I think he is, out of all the quarterbacks and from the stuff that we get, the most honest and open, which I can appreciate. I do think also that should be cause for concern, not because he's honest, but you being honest unveils some more of the truth behind their actual feelings, which I think is good, but also doesn't make you feel good, I would say, if you're a Bengals fan, because I think he's soft launching the last final call to the front office. Like, hey, guys,
fix this around later.
It's not even about the offensive line, because offensive line has been a lot better in the last few weeks. It is, I want to be able to win football games, period. And right now, we're not able to do that, even when I'm playing, going back to last year, at my very best. This year hasn't been particularly great, but based on last season, it's a warning sign to the teams. I think I saw a personnel department. The Bengals have 7 people in their personnel department, scouting and otherwise. The Steelers and Ravens have 35 and 33, respectively. The Browns have more than double, I believe, the scouting personnel and just team reps that go out and evaluate talent that the Bengals do. That's got to change, I think. It just gives them a better shot of hitting some of these picks and making better decisions that, in turn, help make your team a little bit better, and also, in turn, keeps your star quarterback there, which would be great, because as a Bengals fan, I think it would be great to have Joe Burrow. I did slightly think about this. If the Rams, I saw a Rams mock trade.
It's McVay's dream.
If the Rams traded for Joe Burrow, I will say there is a 10% chance, a 5% chance that I become a Rams fan. I do. There are limitations to it. I do think that opens up the possibility.
Really?
If he is on the Rams, I think there is a potential chance that I do actually change the fandom for the first time in my life.
After listening to him the last couple of weeks, where it seems like he is in crisis, where that man was like,
he's going through
I
it.
might hate football, and I definitely hate playing in Cincinnati, which is essentially what I'm hearing in all these conversations is he is, in the next 3 years, Joe Burrow will not be a Bengal, is my opinion on the matter. In the next 3 years, he will no longer be a Cincinnati
The way
Bengal.
it's gone, I don't think you're necessarily wrong, I would say.
They have 2 years to figure it out.
Until his contract's up.
They have 2 years or whatever, to figure this out. Otherwise, I think he would demand a trade at that point.
It would be deja vu all over again from
Carson Palmer. Yep.
Well, then you have to start thinking it's probably not Carson Palmer and Joe Burrow.
Oh, yeah,
number one overall pick.
No kidding.
Might have something to do with the team.
Yeah,
Well,
obviously.
Look, I do not like Carson Palmer, because part of the reason I think that he genuinely quit in the middle of the season, because I think he was traded at the trade deadline, wasn't he? In the middle of the season, or was it before? I don't remember. Anyways, if Joe Burrow did it, and I think this is just my everybody's infatuation that's a Bengals fan with Joe Burrow and how good he is, if it happened a second time, then they might
sell the team.
Mike Brown might be forced to. He actually might. I don't think he might not. I don't think he would do it actually, but he might be in a situation where they make him sell the team.
Run his ass.
It could be that bad.
Stop showing up.
Fast forward 5 years from now, Drew's going to be the biggest Rams fan.
I'm going to be just like that Chargers fan, just going nuts in a different shade of blue.
It kind of scares me, McVay and Burrow together.
Oh, are you kidding me? Oh, yeah,
terrifies
crazy.
me.
Yeah.
I'm not a band. You guys are.
It's true, though, Drew. The Bengals haven't got you much success, so you need a team in the AFC and an NFC now. Maybe you can have two.
Can I defend myself from the A1C?
Go ahead.
So Drew's a bandwagon jumper. My favorite teams are the Wisconsin Badgers, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Indiana Pacers. The only team to have won a title out of all of those that counts in the league that they're in now is Wisconsin, and that was 1940 or something like that when they won a basketball title.
I think it's fine to jump teams if it's really
I'm
bad.
not a bandwagon jumper. I am not a Duke fan, a Cowboys fan, a Yankees fan, and I don't know, throw whoever else you want to in there, a Lakers fan.
That's pretty much that's the run.
There you go.
I still think Speck, I will say this, and I'm going to go ahead and throw shade at Speck. He went to Syracuse, and he's a Duke fan. That is egregious.
Yeah, but you went to Butler. And you don't even cheer for your squad.
Which has great history as a basketball
Did you
program.
know Butler when they were in the national championship?
No.
I was about to say even worse.
This is way after. I went there when they were in the Big East. Made the tournament a couple times.
I'm a Ruse fan. Where I went, Gold.
No, you're a Missouri Tiger fan.
Missouri Tiger.
Cody's part of the Missouri school system.
Because
Cody's part of the Missouri school
right
system. He's a Tigers fan. University of Missouri, Kansas City.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
UMKC's 2-10.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Got Oklahoma State tonight. How do you think that's going to go?
They're going to lose by 39.
They held their own against Oklahoma the other night. They only lost by 22, I think.
Yeah.
Against the Sooners.
Is that hanging in there?
According to what you said the record was the other day, yes. I think so.
All right, up next, we'll get you set. Fantasy football championships or semifinals going on. What do you do with a couple of these quarterbacks in the matchups? Also tonight, Rams, Seahawks, no Devontae Adams. How does that impact where the targets are going? We get into all that next.
What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? It's Trent McDuffie. You're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays 10 to 2 on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue.
Every NFL Thursday is your chance to hit the jackpot on FanDuel because FanDuel's Thursday touchdown jackpot means that you can win a share of $2 million in bonus bets each and every week. To get in on this Thursday's action, all you have to do is place an anytime touchdown score bet before the game kicks off. And if your player scores either the first or the last touchdown in the game, then you'll win your bet plus a share of bonus bets. All you need to do is visit FanDuel.com. Use my promo code KFNZ to take a shot at the jackpot. Remember my promo code KFNZ for your chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt in. Must apply profit boost hosting on select market. Prize pool to be split equally among all eligible participants who made the correct first or last touchdown pick. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 21 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino LLC. Gambling problem? Can help with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Around here, we've got each other's backs. When it comes to health insurance, we want that same kind of support. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City gets that. They're from around here too. Backed by the national strength of the Cross and Shield, they help you make confident choices, no matter where you are. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
Hellsberg gifts checked off the list. Now, time for wrapping. Earrings for mom. A gold bracelet to match the rings Danielle wears every day. And for dad, a new watch, because we all know he needs one. All right, this is going to be a good one.
Our favorite things for your favorite people. Shop in store at Hellsberg.com for up to 50% off.
Hi, this is Kevin Harlan, and I'm here to tell you Rob Sight Ford is closing in on a record-setting year, and they're doing whatever it takes to get there.
That's right, Kevin. We're pulling out all the stops to finish the year strong. 0% for up to 66 months on most Ford models, including F-150s, Escapes, Explorers, Super Duties, and Transits. Top dollar trade-ins and pricing other dealers won't match.
If you've been waiting for the moment to buy, this is it. We've got the vehicles. We've got the deals. We just need one thing, you behind the wheel.
Impeccable rhyme, Kevin. But hey, this is simple, upfront, and easy, and it all ends January 5th.
Kansas City's only top-rated Ford dealer on Google. 4.8 stars, nearly 3,000 reviews, and voted best car dealership in Kansas City by Kansas City Magazine. And now, we're going for the finish line. Rob Sight Ford. Buy right with Rob Sight.
135th and State Line or ROBSIGHT.com. You want inventory, you want price, you want more for your trade. Let's make it happen.
End the year in a Ford before this event drives off.
I'm Mitch Holtis, voice of the Kansas City Chiefs. Choosing the best doctor for your eyes is one of the most important medical decisions you will ever make. Whether you're considering blade-free LASIK, all laser cataract surgery, and premium lens implants, or want a world-renowned doctor to help with your glaucoma, macular degeneration, dry eyes, or diabetes, trust my doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein. Call Silverstein Eye Centers to make an appointment, 816-358-3600.
Experience the best eye care in Kansas City.
We love entertaining during the holidays, but we also love spending time with friends and family. That's why we're letting Hy-Vee do everything, because Hy-Vee has convenient pre-made holiday meal packs for any size gathering. Made fresh and ready-to-heat menu favorites like succulent turkey, honey glazed spiral ham, or prime rib, plus savory sides, rolls, and a choice of dessert. And don't forget the wine and spirits department. So pick up your meal the day before the holiday and then just heat and serve on the big day. This holiday season, let Hy-Vee do the cooking while you take the credit, only at Hy-Vee.
Score big savings with Hy-Vee and the Kansas City Chiefs. Big points mean even bigger savings. Just shop Hy-Vee the day after a game and earn a fuel saver discount equal to the Chiefs score and based on the amounts you spend. If the Chiefs score 42 points, you save 42 cents a gallon with any $42 purchase. The more we score, the more you save. Win or lose, everyone scores the day after a Chiefs game only at Hy-Vee. Offer good in-store and online. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Too many tools, too much stress, and way too many bills. Odoo replaces it all. One connected platform for every part of your business, so you can work faster, smarter, and for less. Odoo, the only software you'll ever need. Try it free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Chiefs coverage this past hour has been brought to you by WaysideWaves.org. Save a life this holiday season.
Wayside rescues thousands of animals each year. Your gift today provides a complete circle of life-saving care they need to heal and find loving homes. Donate today, and your gift will be matched. Visit WaysideWaves.org to make your life-saving gift today.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Back here on Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. We'll get to the random question of the day. I got one for you. Maybe Charch. I don't want to spoil the random question of the day, but it has to do with a Guillotine League dilemma. Paul Charchian, brought to you by Twin Peaks Eats, Drink, Scenic Views. Charch, good to have you on the show, man. We're alive in multiple leagues. Upsets last week. Trevor Lawrence, thank you very much. In a dual QB league, 50 points got us into semis. Guillotine League still alive. How are we doing with those fantasy football teams for you this week?
Well, my favorite league is a Guillotine League called the Whiskey League. And the way it works is at the end of the year, everybody who's lost and eventually been chopped sends a bottle of whiskey to the winner. And I'm one of 3 teams left. I have finished second in this league a couple of years ago. I desperately want to win this league more than any of my money leagues because, the money ultimately, you pay bills or whatever. It hits your account. It feels good, whatever. But 17 bottles of whiskey.
That's crazy.
I will not have to buy another bottle of whiskey for upwards of 6 weeks. That would be awesome. 17 bottles of whiskey. I so much want that.
What's the price point?
Yeah, what's the best bottle you can get?
A very good question. Because you can't just dump some Jack Daniels into this. You have to spend at least $100 on the bottle.
Okay, so yeah, you're going to get some good bottles of whiskey.
I hope so. I think there's some bitter people who get chopped early that are going to try to give me bad whiskey. But at $100, like, how bad can it be? I mean, there are bad $100 bottles of whiskey, but it shouldn't be like really bad.
Yeah,
so,
you might get stuck with like Sinatra Jack Daniels or something. You might be a little disappointed, but you're not going to get like that bad.
Yeah, I mean, like Frank Sinatra Jr. as opposed to Frank Sinatra, who, by the way, true story from like the 90s when I first was legal to go to Las Vegas. I was at the Four Queens playing blackjack.
Okay.
And back then, so this downtown cheap place. I got no money. I'm still a college kid at this time, and on a stage next to the casino. This is not a ticketed thing. This is just next to the casino on stage is Frank Sinatra Jr. And he's trying to sing over the din of the casino. And this is back when the slots, all had coins and everything. So it's like ding, 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 ding. And he's trying to sing over that. And I'm watching the guy and I feel bad for him. And he's a terrible singer. What you can hear of him sounds awful. And at one point mid-song, the band continues playing. And he just stops. The mic goes down to his side, and his head goes down, and he's pinching his nose. And you can feel him going, "What am I doing here?" Frank Sinatra Jr.
Tough.
What about some of these quarterbacks though heading into this potential championship week or semifinal week? I mentioned Trevor Lawrence in a dual QB league. Seriously, he saved me. Is he someone that you can trust now? I mean, he's not played tough competition as of late. He's been awesome, but now there's a big step up in competition.
Multiple touchdowns in 4 straight games, including last week's insane 6 touchdowns for Trevor Lawrence. But to your point, he's played the Cardinals, Titans, Colts, Jets, and now he gets Denver. I do not have to tell you or your listening audience how much harder that is. This is, and if I look at how Lawrence has fared against other really good pass defenses, I did look at Houston twice, Kansas City, and Seattle. He averaged 214 yards and 1 touchdown pass. Denver's got Patrick Surtain back. They're giving up just 237 passing yards and 1 touchdown pass per game. That's it. So I think the end run's here. I think that's it. I think that you startable if you want like a fairly safe 225 and 1, maybe 2 touchdowns, but that's about it. And while we're talking about Trevor Lawrence for a second, can I make a case for Liam Cohen to win Coach of the Year?
You can if Mike Vrabel doesn't get the 1 seed, and it looks like he's not.
Yeah, he might not, right? And nobody's talking about the Jaguars to be here, like Vrabel. Nobody's talking about the Patriots either. But here's why I think Liam Cohen should be in this conversation. Mike Vrabel and Ben Johnson and Mike McDonald, who's also in this conversation, they're doing it with better quarterbacking. I mean, Trevor Lawrence was a proven mediocre quarterback, and Liam Cohen has turned him into an above-average quarterback. I feel like Vrabel and McDonald and Johnson all had better quarterbacks to work with, and it's not just about quarterbacking, but that's a huge part of it. And Cohen, I mean, a totally anonymous Jaguars team, a totally anonymous roster, and here they are, a 10-win team, and potentially looking at a 1 seed if they can actually go to Denver here, beat Denver. I mean, it would be stunning. I think Liam Cohen should get more consideration, Coach of the Year. What do you think?
I think absolutely. Vrabel, again, had it in the bag until they blew that game to Buffalo, and that's going to be in recent memory as people go to vote. So if they go and beat Denver, then Liam Cohen will be right at the top of the list. I want to ask you about a different division team, the Denver Broncos, the Chargers. And I think that this is a rare amount of teams still alive in the playoffs. Let's say you drafted great outside of Amari and Hampton, and all the time he missed didn't burn you. He has been mediocre at best in his return since he has come back from the injury. Is Dallas a startable situation, even though he hasn't been a startable player to this point, Hampton?
Yeah, I don't think so, Cody. Hampton, he's in this timeshare with Kamani Vidal, and while he's looked, I think overall a little better than Vidal, but Vidal catches more passes than he does. Hampton's not getting a lot of work there. And LA's missing both starting tackles. Slater and Alt are out, and those are huge losses. And the offense just has stretches where it just doesn't work right without those guys. And we've touched on this before a couple of weeks ago. Cowboys' run defense has been great since the Quinnen Williams trade.
Much better,
Only
yeah.
runner, Jahmyr Gibbs, has had a good fantasy game, and he did it mostly through the air. He only ran for 43 yards. Saquon Barkley, 22 yards. Ashton Genty, 7 yards against Dallas last week. The Vikings' 2 running backs had 29 and 34 yards. It's just, I hate to say it because you've been waiting a long time to start Hampton. I don't think you do it here.
Charge, I'm going to read you through a few of the text line here that way because it's championship time. They're looking for a little advice. Zay Flowers or Devonta Smith?
If you need upside, Devonta Smith is against the Commanders, and that is compelling. Now he's done basically nothing for like 5 weeks. And
Zay Flowers has turned into a number 1 target in a hurry.
He's really good, and they don't have another number 1 target, and so. But that doesn't always mean they throw to him a lot. The volume has always been his problem, not ability. Flowers is really good, incredibly shifty after the catch. It's just some games he just doesn't get the ball enough. If you want safety, I would go with Flowers because you get your 4 or 5 catches. He doesn't get overshadowed by anybody else in the passing game. If you want upside, Smith is one of my favorite upside players of this week because the Washington secondary it was bad to begin with. And then you throw out both your starting cornerbacks hurt too, and it's a great opportunity for Philadelphia.
One more wide receiver, one DK Metcalf or Chris Olave?
Wow. Okay, I love them both, but here's the deal on Chris Olave, who's got just a fantastic matchup. I think it would not surprise me if Olave led the league in receiving yards this week. So Tyler Shuck, much improved. Past couple of games have been really shockingly good. And by the way, I mean, here they've just picked off 2 playoff needy teams in back-to-back weeks. The teams that really needed wins. This whole passing offense goes through Olave now. Deshaun Vele is hurt. They just traded away Brandon Cooks and Rashid Shaheed at the deadline, and Olave's usage skyrocketing. 3rd in air yards per game, 12th in targets per game, a 67% end zone target share. Meaning 2 out of 3 passes that are being thrown into the end zone are going to Chris Olave. That is an insane number. And then the Jets traded away Sauce Gardner. They traded away Michael Carter at cornerback. And then their depth guys at cornerback, Jarvis Brownlee and Zayra Thomas, are on IR. So we're down to like 5th and 6th string cornerbacks. It's going to be a really good game for Chris Olave, who I love this week.
Continuing to talk about some of the wide receivers, I know last week we asked you potentially just about the Bucs situation on Thursday night with Chris Godwin and having Mike Evans back. So now you go to another week. Are you leaning more towards a Chris Godwin type? Is he a safe play, or would you go with the Rashid Shaheed or a DJ Moore?
Godwin has looked shockingly good. I really wasn't sure that he would ever be the same player because of the severity of last year's dislocated ankle. Tough matchup though. The Panthers have been inconsistent in a lot of different areas, but their pass defense has been almost uniformly good. Still, he runs from the slot. That helps you avoid the 2 outside cornerbacks that the Panthers use a lot, who are very good, Horn and Jackson. So this is a very long way of saying I still think just for safety, I would take Chris Godwin here. That whole Bucs offense with Mike Evans back, everybody seems to get better when Mike Evans is on the field, and I think that's going to include Chris Godwin here.
Let's talk about the game tonight. Huge Thursday night football game. Rams at Seahawks. Massive game in the sense that if the Seahawks win, then the Seahawks and the 49ers both control their own fate for the number 1 seed, I believe, on the NFC side, so they can both just win out and get the whole thing taken care of. Devontae Adams, he's out. All of his targets just go to Puka, right? There's not just some other guy. He just gets 4,700 targets instead.
Right. Exactly. It's very possible. I mean, Lord knows Sean McVay is not bashful about peppering Puka Nacua with targets. He's currently 4th in targets across the entire league, despite missing a game. Get this. So here's Puka. He's played not even 3 full seasons now. He's had 17 games with 10 or more targets. That's stunning at this stage of Puka Nacua's career, and likely one of them is coming here. So with Adams out, and by the way, the other thing that Adams was leading the NFL in end zone targets, and those end zone targets, probably Puka Nacua. But the other guy that I think benefits here is Colby Parkinson. If you want somebody you can pick up off the waiver wire and legitimately give you a chance to power yourselves into the fantasy finals, this is the guy. Since Tyler Higbee has been out and he's been ruled out of this game, Parkinson averaging 5 targets per game. He's had end zone targets in all 4 games without Tyler Higbee, and the Seattle secondary getting rocked by tight ends lately. Kyle Pitts, 90 yards a couple weeks ago. TJ Hawkinson, 60 yards. The Titans tight ends combined for 91 yards. And prior to that, Colby Parkinson himself scored a touchdown in week 11 against this same defense. So Colby Parkinson is the sneaky answer here on Devontae Adams and who gets benefited by the vacated targets.
On the Seattle Seahawks side, with Sam Darnold, where are you at with this? How much stock do you put in the earlier matchup this season to where they're at now?
And, Alex, the last year's matchup with the Vikings as well. I mean, so for Sam Darnold, this is such a big game because the entire narrative around Sam Darnold, that he wilts in the spotlight, that he breaks down under pressure, it's all Rams narrative. Last year in the playoffs, when Darnold was leading the Vikings, he got pressured into 9 sacks, I believe, and looked awful in the playoff game and ended the Vikings' 14-win season. Then, week 11, a month ago, Sam Darnold against the Rams, 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, got pressured through the whole game, and he wilted again. So, will it happen here tonight? And can Sam Darnold reverse it? Putting your fantasy team into the hands of Sam Darnold is only for the boldest of fantasy players. It is the kind of people who eat 7-Eleven sushi at 1 a.m. Those are the kind of people that can start Sam Darnold. But here's your angle. The Rams have been worked by the last 3 quarterbacks they've faced, and they're not superheroes. Bryce Young against the Rams 3 weeks ago, quarterback 2 in fantasy football. The week after that, Jacoby Brissett, quarterback 8. Last week, Jared Goff, quarterback 4 against the Rams. They're a great run defense, great. So teams throwing them all the time. They're seeing the 5th most passing attempts. I want to believe, and maybe it's just an underdog narrative. Maybe it's because I'm a lifelong Viking fan and I still like Sam Darnold. Maybe it's just because I think it'd be great for the NFL. I want Sam Darnold to reverse the narrative tonight. I think it's going to happen. I think he's going to have a good game, and I would not start him in my semifinals. He's my quarterback 13 for the week, but I do believe that you're going to start the rest of, like if you're going to start Jackson Smith and Jigba anyway, Rashid Shaheed anyway, you continue to start those guys. I wouldn't panic on that. And obviously you're starting Jackson Smith and Jigba no matter what.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, because if you're in a guillotine league, your roster's loaded at this point in time for the most part heading in. So do you start Jackson Smith and Jigba, Jonathan Taylor, Bijan, Amon-Ra, or Jamar Chase?
Jeez, man, this is a guillotine only question right there. Now, is there one guy you have to throw out of that mix?
Well, you start 2 running backs, 2 receivers, and 2 flex, and so in Jigba, let's say, is on the bench. Who are you taking out? Taylor, Robinson, Cook, Chase, or Gibbs?
I have to start all of those players.
Right.
I mean, if it came down to that, I would probably take Jackson Smith and Jigba out.
Okay.
Which is painful to say. But things that only ever happen in a guillotine league in week, and it's got to be week 16. But
I'm going to bench the leading NFL wide receiver.
But that's what I'm about to do. That's what I'm going to have to do. I was asking that question selfishly for myself. My bench is going to end up being in Jigba, A.J. Brown, Christian McCaffrey, and Achane because I've got other guys.
That's it's so fun to be in a guillotine league where you're benching the league's NFL starting, the highest yardage receiver in the league, and things that only happen here. It's so much fun.
Charge, appreciate it, man. Have a great holiday. I know we're working on the schedule maybe next week because we're on a short week next week as well, but we'll hopefully talk to you soon.
Guys, I believe we will not be doing next week because nobody's really working. It's a New Year's, Thursday is Christmas. We normally do Thursdays. Then we would shift like Thanksgiving. We shift to Wednesdays, but that's Christmas Eve. Nobody's working Christmas Eve.
True.
So,
well, Happy New Year then, Charge.
I think this is it. Now, if you want to just check in and chat playoff football at some point during the playoffs, that would be fun.
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
We can just chat playoff football.
Just general playoff football. We don't get to talk the normal way.
Right, exactly. Not fantasy. Yeah, we just talk about what's happening in the playoffs because you're not going to be talking
bets.
Yeah, we will not be talking Chiefs. You got it. Thank you, Charge. Yeah, I heard that comment. I heard the comment.
Love you guys. You're the best. Have a great Christmas.
There you
Bye,
go.
Everybody.
There you go. That's Paul Charchian. He joins us each and every Thursday throughout the football season. Appreciate him coming on throughout the year. But just with the holidays, this is kind of the end. And championship, fantasy football championships are right here for a lot of people.
Someone on the text line trying to convince you to bench Jamar Chase. T. Higgins didn't even practice today. Come on.
Yeah.
Random question.
Random question today brought to you by Kansas City Urology Care at KCUC. Remember, you see the best in KC. Visit kcurology.com today for you, Gold. You, Drew. Text line 913-586-7965. YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. I told you may have the random question today because you need to crowdsource a potential fantasy issue.
Oh. Yeah, normally we don't do this. Normally Cody's usually asks the life advice through what he needs through the random. I'm taking
nice
over
to
today.
Be on the other side.
Someone says fakest fantasy football league. What is it? That's why it's a guillotine league. Your rosters get chopped, so everybody's roster is loaded at the end. There's
only
why
2 teams remaining.
2 teams left, and so everybody's roster is loaded. Anyway, my question actually centers around the guillotine league, though, because I know normally you're like, I don't care about your fantasy football team, and I totally get it. I don't care about yours either, right? But here's the dilemma, and you tell me, am I a jerk if I don't agree to this? So it's the final week. It's guillotine league. Rosters are loaded. I was able to go and bid on a few more players to load the roster up because the opponent had no money left on the bidding. So I was able to go. That's
Get
why I
everyone
had
for $1.
I did. So I am projected to win this week.
By how much?
154 to 137. Okay.
Pretty
Decent
good margin.
All right. The pot is $850. And in Guillotine League, it's winner take all, right? That's just how we've always done it. The individual that is alive as well, to his credit, he was supposed to be eliminated last week and he didn't. So he's playing with house money.
Staying.
All right.
Surviving.
He wants to chop, as in guaranteeing that second place gets 30%, winner gets 70. And I'm hesitant because why? Why would I do this? Am I a jerk for saying no? Here's the thing. The only way I would consider this.
It's so tough to play this long in a league.
I know. Well, but that's
zero.
It's Guillotine League,
None.
though. It's Guillotine League, and if you look, karma's a you know what, so I'm going to not agree to chop, and I'll probably lose.
Like 600 to 250 essentially would be the split.
So
you'd be guaranteeing 600.
My only thought is this: normally you do a chop, you do an even chop. As far as like, if he wins, he gets the same 70-30 as I. My only way I would agree to a chop, because I'm projected to win, so I have to have some incentive to chop. Why would I? If he wants to agree to where if I lose, it's 60-40. If he loses, it's 80-20.
Ooh.
That's
too strong.
Well, then it's 100% and 0.
That's fine. What you're offering is a bad deal, and I wouldn't take it. I
actually don't think.
I
think
have
what
the
Gold's offering is
leverage.
a bad deal.
My incentive. Why am I incentivized
because
to
fantasy
chop?
can still just. You don't have to be incentivized. I'm saying incentivized. You're being incentivized too much. If you had said 70-30, 60-40, I'd hear you out.
Nope.
But the second you go 80-20, 60-40,
I do think 80-20 is a bit high. But
Well, then it's 100-0. Then it's 100-0. That's worse.
I think the premise is right, though, for Gold to do this. I think it's absolutely, you're right, because you're the one who's favored to win it as well as everything else like that. I totally understand why you're thinking this way.
Does it have to be 70-30? Like, I guess part of it is, like, I'd want enough of the value. Like, can it just be 700 for the winner, 150 for the loser? Because if you lose, Gold, at least you're still getting 150.
80-20, actually.
Yeah, like just across the board, 80-20.
Yeah.
Because Gold doesn't want to give up a huge chunk. He thinks he's favored. The incentive to split Gold at 80-20 for you across the board is you're still getting $700 if you win. But if he pulls the upset, which certainly can't happen in fantasy, you're taking home triple your buy-in.
That's the thing that sucks, though, for Alex is, because Gold for easy could be like, I want to guarantee myself the most money because I think I'm going to win. But then you lose, and then you're like, dang it, I shouldn't have done that.
Well, I mean, that's the risk he's willing to take, it sounds like.
No, but I'm just saying.
I don't think you're a jerk for saying no.
I don't think you're a jerk for that.
The rules were established preseason, winner take all. That's what Guillotine League is. And this individual knows that as well.
Yeah,
if we're agreeing to chop, okay, we can agree to a chop. But like, if I'm projected to win by 15 plus points, why would I agree to a chop? And you're like, well, you shouldn't. So the only way I would agree to a chop is I would need the edge in my favor significantly. Otherwise, I'll just roll and let it ride out.
Yeah,
so if he wants to guarantee himself $100, then fine. But if I lose, I'm not getting the same chop percentage as him. I am projected. I have to have a reason to chop.
I would say, are you not? Are you willing to? But like, if you lose, are you? I mean, you obviously have to deal with.
I'm
getting
willing
nothing.
to roll the dice on getting nothing. He is way more concerned about chopping than I am, because he's projected to lose. And look, it's fantasy football.
You are very confident. This usually burns.
I know, and I
this
said
usually burns in a bad way.
Yeah.
You're overconfident here. You're like, I'll give you a pittance. You
No.
Get out of here. You get no money. 0 for you.
But that's
very confident, which you should be.
The percent. You're right. It's fantasy football. Anything can happen. But if I told you Cody, that you were projecting in any bet you're making with a buddy or whatever, and you know that you are in position. Let's say you had a bet preseason for a team to make the playoffs, and now their odds to make the playoffs, it's 95%. And your buddy's like, I'm about to lose the bet. Would you at least give me 10%? And you would say, why? I'm about to win. And I'm telling you, I'm willing to give a chop, but I want a better percentage than he gets if he wins, because I'm in the position of leverage here to negotiate.
I know, Gold. If you were the one who was not favored, would you ask the other person to chop, or would you just?
If I was in his spot, I would want to chop as well, because he knows he's probably going to lose. I get why he wants to chop.
Like, I understand his desire for the chop.
Yeah,
but I don't think you're in the favorable position where you should just be negotiating zero. Because
there is no zero. It's already zero. 100% at zero is what we already had preseason.
Well, yeah, but I'm just like, the implied odds, I don't think are like the 20-point swing in a guillotine league. This point per game. I'm going to guess that you're 65% favored.
Yeah, but I'm not agreeing to a 60-40 split. That's crazy.
No, I'm not saying that.
What does they offer?
70-30 is what the offer was, and let me check the latest message.
Why don't you just do 700 to 150?
I would say,
that seems like a more than fair
I would
number.
say straight up, you want to do 80-20? Let's do 80-20.
Because, Gold, you still get a huge...
He said he's down to get 100 or 150.
Oh, that's 80-20. That's more 80.
That's got to be 80-20.
But I'm telling you...
But don't you want
I'm not agreeing to that.
I'm just saying, like, that amount of money, the difference between 800 and... The difference between
17 points in fantasy... This is not like a... 17 points in fantasy football is a wide margin this late in the year when we're talking about guillotine, when you have, like, all-stars. Like... Your roster is so loaded. It's not just like, oh, Josh Allen has a bad day, I'm now going to lose. It would be Josh Allen and Bijan and Jamar Chase all have duds.
But in a point-per-game thing, it could be a one-player swing. 17 point could be one bad player for you, one player for him goes off.
It's a tough spot. It's gambling for a reason, though. Like, we agreed to winner-take-all guillotine when the season started.
But then just, I mean, again, if you don't want to chop,
back to the rules.
Here's the truth. The way you're acting, you don't want to chop, so don't chop.
And I'm
the
saying,
way you're like, I'll take 90% if I lose, and you're like, well, if that's the case, well, then you just don't chop.
Yeah, it's called negotiating. Cody, you're just wanting to not negotiate.
No, I think you're negotiating. I think you are favoring. I think your negotiating is completely unequal to what
I know. I'm negotiating a deal that is heavily in my favor because I don't need the deal. That's why.
Yeah, I just pass.
Yeah, Gold definitely has all the leverage.
Try to pull the upside, take the cash, and do whatever.
All right, up next.
The other guy.
Up next, and I'll report back next week. Like I said, karma's a you-know-what, so maybe I'll lose. NBA Cup coming to the Kansas City area. Let's explain what that could mean. Coming up right here on Cody and Gold.
You're listening to Cody and Gold.
We're going to try to tickle your tonsils.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
This is Danan Hughes. In Kansas City football, we honor tradition, but we always look forward to what's next. That's why I'm all in for Flight by Yingling. It's brewed by the oldest brewery in America, but built for today. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, crisp, clean, and full of flavor, just the way a light beer should be. It's got the legacy and the stats to back it up. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer and the official beer of Danan Hughes. VG Yingling and Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
Gates Barbecue's distinctive flavors will make your holiday meals unforgettable. Spice up your holiday table with Gates sauces and seasonings. Prepare your meats, potatoes, and vegetables with Gates seasonings and top it off with one of the 5 Gates sauces. While watching a game or your favorite holiday movie, sprinkle Gates original seasoning on a bowl of hot buttered popcorn. So good. You can buy Gates at your neighborhood grocer or online at gatesbbq.com. Gates Barbecue, still doing it the old-fashioned way. Thanks with love.
Around here, we've got each other's backs. When it comes to health insurance, we want that same kind of support. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City gets that. They're from around here too. Backed by the national strength of the Cross and Shield, they help you make confident choices, no matter where you are. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
What's up, Missouri? Tony Gonzalez here. Your moment is finally here because DraftKings Sportsbook is live in Missouri. You can get in on all the action with fast withdrawals, a safe and secure app, and betting that's easy to use anywhere you go. And the best part, DraftKings keeps the excitement going with awesome promos and offers all season long. That's why it's America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't wait. New customers sign up today. Bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Let's go, Missouri. Get in the game.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 965. New Missouri customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. That's code 965 in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, announcing Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event. Zero, like in 0% financing. Up to 0% financing on select 2025 Subaru models for 72 months. The 2025 Subaru Share the Love event. Subaru will donate $250 to a charity of your choice to help those in need this holiday.
And locally, you can choose Hillcrest Transitional Housing. Lee Summit Subaru will also donate $50. Subaru of America will donate $250 per vehicle sold or leased during the promotional period, and store contribution may be combined with Subaru of America donation.
Hello, Kansas City. Christopher Youngers here with Cafe Trio. The seasons, they are changing. And if you haven't seen Cafe Trio during the holidays, from Halloween, the Plaza Lights, and Christmas with all of our decorations, well, then you've missed out on one of the most seasonally spectacular dining experiences in town. Offering live music, very spirited holiday decorations, and farm-to-table fresh menus, Cafe Trio is the place to be for the holidays. 45th and Main, CafeTrioKC.com.
Every NFL Thursday is your chance to hit the jackpot on FanDuel. Because with FanDuel's Thursday Touchdown Jackpot, you can win a share of $2 million in bonus bets each week. To get in on this Thursday's action, all you have to do is place an anytime touchdown score bet before the game kicks off. And if your player scores the first or last touchdown of the game, you'll win your bet plus a share of bonus bets. Just visit FanDuel.com/Alex to take a shot at the jackpot. That's FanDuel.com/Alex for your chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt in. Must apply profit boost token on select market. Prize pool to be split equally among all eligible participants who made the correct first or last touchdown pick. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets will expire 21 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit kansasgamblinghelp.com.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than just Peyton Manning. I'm also motivating Manning. When I say insurance, you say financial services. Insurance. Financial services. Insurance. Financial services. Now when I say nationwide, you say is both. Nationwide. Is both. Nationwide. Is both. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue.
Hey, it's George Karlaftis. The Chiefs Radio Network pregame show starts 3 hours before kickoff right here on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
1 o'clock hour here
spent
on Cody and Gold.
The better part of, I don't know, 15 car rides memorizing every word of this because I was going to try to write a diss track about somebody.
Who?
It was
I don't
Carrington,
remember.
wasn't it?
Might have been Carrington.
It
I
was
don't remember.
C-Dot.
I worked
Why did you
really
stop?
hard on
Why did you stop?
memorizing
Yeah.
every word of this.
I want to know why you stopped because I think that'd be one of the most listened to songs.
It's you know why? It turns out it is very hard to rap like Kendrick Lamar, or even like 20% of Kendrick Lamar. So like identifiable as Kendrick Lamar, right? As in like, yeah, I guess you were trying. It was harder than I imagined.
What was one of the lines?
Oh man, I'd have to go back through and look. I don't know. I still got hold on. Let me see if I still got it written. I guess it's the best I can offer you. We'll go looks. Maybe I've got some. Maybe sometimes I keep a Google Doc on something.
Because for a diss track, you almost have to say some out of pocket things that you don't really mean necessarily, but it's like, you know what, this is catchy.
I don't know if I've got it.
C-Dot is bad. C-Dot is bad. I don't know. That's my Kendrick.
For some reason, I'm thinking maybe it wasn't C-Dot, but it was something else.
I think you definitely had beef with
I think it was
Carrington.
like on a team. I did have beef with Carrington, but I don't remember if the Kendrick one was for him. And he's a Drake guy, so.
Drew, give us some more sample. Give us some more of a sample.
They not like us.
Yeah, the way he sings is also kind of difficult.
Mustard. Yeah, you'd have to do.
Well, that part was easy.
What was the part? What did you replace it with?
What did you replace it with? Those are two separate songs.
I don't think it was Carrington. I think it was like another team.
Oh, okay.
I think it was like another team that like was on the Chiefs schedule, maybe. So I have to go back through. Because I feel like I made fun of Sean Payton in it. Maybe it was about the Broncos. Maybe it was about the Broncos.
A diss track about Sean Payton? What?
I feel like it might have been a diss track about the Broncos last year. Nah, I can't remember. It's been too long. I already know. I'll have to look up the lyrics.
Bonix is trash. Bonix is trash. That's exactly how it would go. That's exactly how how the chorus would go. In that song for you.
Oh goodness!
I'd have to go back through all of my.
His whole rap style has changed. Kendrick Lamar from like swimming pools days to like now he raps a little bit different.
I'll tell you this much: if you guys went through all the songs I consider, you guys think you hate me singing now. If you saw all the songs I almost do. But
what was your beef with C-Dot anyway? People are asking.
We had lots of different beef.
What's
I don't remember.
issue?
There was one thing in
We've
particular.
had lots of different. There was something he said on the show. I feel like that kicked it off.
Didn't he take something of yours as well? Because wasn't that originally the thing?
He did steal some things of mine from the fridge and kept stealing some other stuff from my desk.
I think that was it.
He stole food from you?
Yeah, it was the food in the fridge.
Yeah,
I think
people are
was the
texting
main
in some
thing.
pretty good lyrics, Drew, for you. Do you want to read some? Can you sing some of those for us?
What from
on the text line? The suggestions. You had it down. It sounded like.
I mean, if we're like fitting like a theme of the show, Blue Chew is great. Blue Chew is great.
It'd be pretty hard.
No, the text that are people are giving you lyrics to do.
They're giving you options.
I
spent so much time memorizing.
I will not.
No,
I will not read off that one. No, but the Bonix is trash one is the one that I.
I don't remember what Carrington. We don't have any current beef.
See, someone said that he believes Carrington was bad mouthing your songs.
Oh, that might have
been part of it as well. He said your songs were.
I said you do something creative, and then you're allowed to. You know, that's what I had said. I remember now. My only beef with Carrington currently right now, and you guys should shame him at 2:00.
What?
Carrington's got, look, Chiefs playing the Titans.
Beef with him
at 2:00. You all need to make Carrington go buy his own headphones. Every day, he takes Scott Park's headphones over at KMBZ, and it offends me.
Carrington does not have his own pair of headphones.
Buy your own phones. Stop
He's
stealing
been
phones.
He's been an afternoon drive for what? 12 years? 10 years? I don't know what it is at this
Even
point.
these, the ones he uses in the show that aren't Parks, are stolen. I don't think he purchased them. He had ones that said 610 production on them for years.
And for those asking, like, why doesn't the company have? In any radio station you work at, the host provides their own headphones. It's just whatever reason, that's the way it's always been. Okay, so we all have our own separate headphones.
Yeah,
put it in our backpack or laptop bag, and you go home and you bring it back, and you got your headphones with you. For whatever reason, that's not how he has it. So Cody is saying that you guys should bully him into buying his own headphones.
Correct. Yes, that is how I feel about it. And I would like you to bully him to buying his own headphones that are outside the studio so that he doesn't have to take Scott Park's headphones.
Yep.
Yeah. How much stress do you think he's caused Scott Parks for that very reason?
He was calling him before the show the other day, trying to figure out where he was because he had the headphones in some other room. He was getting ready to go into the studio. He's like, I don't have my headphones. I have to call Carrington. Dude, I mean, honest to God, this is the thing about like our job is the headphones. That'd be like Alex always borrowing my shoes, and then every time I needed to go outside, I'm like, "Hey, Alex, I wear these. Do you know how many hours you wear a pair of headphones in your life? These headphones?
I mean, 20 hours a week at minimum.
20 hours a week, 50 weeks a year. So, I mean, pretty good amount, man. I mean, you're talking 1,000 hours. You can't have them. That might be more than I wear shoes. You can't have them. These are in my head 1,000 hours a year. I need them.
Let's go on Amazon, order some damn headphones.
Parks offered to walk him over to Target the other day. He said, I'll walk him right over.
Walk him over. That's walk him over. That's so insulting. Walk him over. Man, someone said, "See that? That's nasty. Get your own damn."
That's the other part, man.
Yeah,
I don't.
Do you want
all your hair oils and ear wax and whatever the hell.
I agree.
I agree. It's a cleanliness.
I agree. Yeah, totally.
Anyway, let's talk about some other stuff.
Yes, let's talk about the NBA briefly. I know we don't talk a ton of NBA. I thought this was fascinating, though, from Adam Silver. So we know that this NBA Cup in-season tournament, it's been highly criticized. Some people like it, some people hate it. Whatever. We're not getting into that debate. But Adam Silver was on Amazon Prime. That's who was airing the game. And at halftime or before the game, he was interviewed, and he said they're thinking about having the NBA Cup, this in-game tournament, the finals, instead of in Las Vegas, which is where it's at. And Vegas in December is kind of believe it, even Vegas is kind of dead in December, so it's not the same as other times of the year. There's a couple times a year where even Vegas is not busy, and December is one of them. And he said they're looking at having the NBA Cup at different historic college venues. Now, since that interview, I think is it Eric Metcalf or Byron Metcalf? I'm sorry, Eric Metcalf's the former Chargers wide receiver. Byron Metcalf, I think it is.
The reporter? Yeah.
Yeah. Eric Metcalf played wide receiver for the Chargers. He's reporting that Cameron Indoor is likely and possibly a scenario that could play out and host the NBA Cup next year, which is, of course, home of the Duke Blue Devils. I love this idea for some, even if you don't like the NBA, and I know there's some of you that listen that don't watch, that's fine.
Just don't like the league in general.
That's fine. No worries. Having the NBA Cup at Allen Fieldhouse, for example, would be awesome.
Luka Doncic could be playing in Allen Fieldhouse. It just
Luka
that concept is
against
crazy.
Wemby or whoever, right? Like that would be awesome. It'd be great for the area too. I would be so pumped. I don't think it's all that likely, but they're considering historic college venues. I mean, Allen Fieldhouse, even if you're the biggest KU hater ever, you have to agree it's a top 5 historic college basketball venue. Top 3. I think it's number 1, but that's just me being a KU grad. Cameron Indoor is amazing. I don't know if they'll put it in the Midwest, would be my only issue. They probably want it in North Carolina or in Duke because it's closer to the East Coast and travel and everything. But man, oh man, how awesome would that be? Would you guys go if it was at Allen Fieldhouse?
Yes.
Yes. Or at least I'd want to.
In a heartbeat. Yeah.
It's a little bit like the World Cup where like the ticket to get in would maybe make a decision or an opinion on that. But would I want to go? Absolutely. And I like the NBA. I watch the NBA. I don't care about the cup. Who the hell cares about the cup? They just put a tournament in the middle of the season
it's
and give you a
more
fake
steam
trophy
this year,
that doesn't mean anything. I'm not like dying to watch the cup.
Yeah, but even if you
if it's at Cameron Indoor or Allen Fieldhouse, way more into it.
Mm-hmm. Even if you think the NBA and it's gimmicky with the NBA Cup, when an NBA game at a college venue in our backyard would be awesome. Let alone in the NBA Cup, which I think Drew over time maybe it'll continue to gain some steam. Look, the Knicks. They're using it as a stepping stone. They're not putting a banner up, thank goodness. That'd be embarrassing. You don't need to put an NBA.
Good. That's very nice. Compared to the Lakers that did.
I believe the Knicks already said. I believe they said they're not putting a banner up in MSG.
Nor
should they.
Can't put up a banner.
Nor should they.
The Cup championship.
But like someone saying horrible idea. I honestly, like legitimate. Can you respond back? Why is it a horrible idea? Are you a diehard NBA fan and you think it makes it gimmicky? Okay, or are you just someone that hates the NBA so you don't want it here? Those are two different things. And even if you don't like the NBA, then what's it matter to you if all of a sudden an NBA Cup game was at Allen Fieldhouse?
Because the reason why I think the concept works well, and it gives off a feel kind of like March Madness, where like you have the host city, but for the NBA Cup you have a host city essentially, in the concept of celebrating basketball, though from the standpoint of historic greatness, and also Allen, for all of the reasons that Allen Fieldhouse itself is great, but I mean. James Naismith, like he went to he taught at Kansas, like that also has significant basketball.
It's the
which gets into Allen Fieldhouse and all the other things that make Allen Fieldhouse what it is.
I just think it's cool to watch like LeBron or Giannis at like
when they never played in college.
They never even got to play in college. You get to see these guys like visit a college arena and kind of have that feel. And we all know like the environment in an NBA game in a playoff can be incredible. We saw what Indiana looked like when they were in the middle of the playoff run. It can be incredible. But like putting them in this smaller venue in a college thing for one game, yeah, same as I like the Field of Dreams game in baseball or these. They got
It would
81
give off that
games.
vibe, yeah. Plenty of inventory.
We always forget, we forget about basketball and baseball and hockey and all these sports and just the pure inventory. This is not the NFL. If you took an NFL game and you put it at the big house, it's a problem. I only get so many of these games a year. I could see why it works, but like I only get so many of these games.
Exactly, and that's the difference because I know Jay Binkley has come on this show before, and he said that they need to do it for the NFL, and I'm adamantly against this idea on a college campus for NFL for the reason you brought up, the amount of games and all of that. But when you have these
82
NBA Cup games anyway, that some of the diehard NBA fans just don't like it anyway, well, then bring it to fans that are going to care about it. So the only thing with Cameron Indoor being the favorite, it's a great venue. It's a bucket list venue I'd love to go to. That only holds like 8,000 or 9,000, right? Like that's a
very
now Allen Fieldhouse doesn't
environment.
hold 20,000 or something either, but like 8,000 is insane. That seems too small.
I think that also is part of the reason that like you look at these college arenas, whether it's Cameron Indoor, whether it's Allen,
9,300.
Whether it's Mackey Arena with Purdue or Hinkle in Indy.
Yeah, they're not going to Purdue. Yeah,
or the in terms of other like historic venues, like the Pit in New Mexico, probably wouldn't go there either. But historic college basketball venues, they're more intimate environments because the fans are essentially right on top of you. So I think that makes it very exciting and intriguing to see NBA games in that sort of an environment.
So we'll see. I think it's going to happen at some point once the commissioners start saying it. Yeah, we're just talking for the NBA Cup games. Moving forward, I think there's three that come to mind: Allen Fieldhouse, Rupp Arena, and Cameron Indoor. Those are the three that I would run through first, and then go from there. So we'll see. If you told me in 2027 or something the NBA Cup final was in Lawrence, I would 100% find a way to go.
I will say it's 16-3 for Allen, so almost over 6,000, almost 6,500 more.
Yeah, they reduced capacity. Yeah, they reduced capacity with some of the renovations.
It still feels more intimate though because there's not like, correct me if I'm wrong, it feels like there's one big level, like in terms of seating section, it's one big section for that just wraps around the entire field house where, in the NBA you got the lower level, then there's suites, and then there's an upper level, and then there's another, like they're all of the fans are just packed into this small space where it's 16,000 still, but it's louder, it's more ruckus. Yeah, it'll be nuts.
So we'll see. I think it's a great idea. I know people are not happy with Adam Silver right now for a lot of different things, but I thought for someone that's not in an NBA market right now, and we've talked about that, let's figure out the Chiefs and Royals before we worry about trying to get hockey or NBA or something. But if you tell me just a one-off game, hell yeah. All in for that.
I think it would be a ticket I would be very, very interested. I did see someone lay out the World Cup map, and it was well pointed out. Now I'm trying to remember which person pointed out about how FIFA promised $60 tickets to World Cup matches.
There's a lot of people who are mad about
misleading.
that.
And if you start looking at the map, it's the tier category 4 tickets. You're sitting double Z. Double Z.
So
upper tank end zone. It's tough.
We've entered the lottery 3 times. I mean, like a lot of you, we're in the latest lottery that goes until I think the 13th or something of January, and that's kind of like the last hope to get tickets at face value. Otherwise, you're gonna have to go secondary market. But yeah, I threw my my hat in the ring of the lottery as well, like everybody else, and we'll see. They have you select I selected every Kansas City match, hoping that you get lucky and get a buy 2 tickets to one of these without having to pay over face.
My only complaint is that category 2 includes a huge chunk of the upper deck, like pretty deep into the
of Arrowhead. You're talking about?
Yeah, dude, like 10-yard line to 10-yard line, all the way up to like the last 5 rows is what it looks like on there. It is like you could be sitting club level. But if you want to sit lower level, it has to be category 1. Category 2 is like pretty much all the upper level. Category 3 is upper level, but in zones. So you're quite a bit further away. And then category 4 is just, do you want the last seat in the building?
I can't remember which ones I got because I already got a ticket to the Netherlands.
You don't know what category you got?
Tunisia game. I think it's category 3, but it's definitely not 1. I believe it's category 3.
So you'll be sitting upper tank, but you won't be sitting last
just
row.
Being able to say that, I wanted to jump the gun and just get the ticket. So
I haven't looked if the prices have been coming down now that there's more.
Depends on the match. The Argentina one's kind of the price at this point, it looks like. But I still think once the lottery's over, remember, that means there'll be a ton more tickets potentially out on the secondary market as well. But we're competing with the
you
world,
guys
like
aren't looking
literally.
at the quarterfinal match, or you did put in for the quarterfinal.
Oh, I mean,
match.
in the lottery,
Yeah.
I selected every match,
gotcha.
and just whatever match if I were to get a ticket, period, out of the lottery, I'd be thrilled. I don't care what match it is. If you got lucky and it was the quarterfinal, my goodness. Even face value category 1 how much were those? Those were like $2,000 or
$2,000, yeah, something like that. Now I know that we put in for the quarterfinal, and I can tell you right now, if I get category 1 for the quarterfinal, I could sell that and go sit.
Go sit for
category
free,
3 if
basically.
I
Yeah,
want,
sell category 1 and buy
for
category
sure.
2 tickets or whatever.
I mean, so you get all the world as your oyster essentially on there. Now, look, the cheapest match you can get in right now, it's kind of like a Chiefs game, $230 a ticket. You want to go to Austria
right?
and Algeria, you could get in for $225.
It's like a 9 o'clock start too, isn't it, on a Saturday?
One of those
and
is
it's
really late.
And it's like the last match of group play. Both those teams are probably not making it. It probably has no bearing, frankly. That's probably why that game's cheap. It's going to have really no bearing on moving on out of group stage.
I think the Dutch and Tunisia tickets went down a little bit after I got them, but I felt pretty.
What'd
good
you pay for them, Drew?
After fees, I got after fees under $400.
Okay, I mean, look, that's still not bad. You can get pretty close to that pretty much on the secondary market, but it's not like maybe a little less than that right now, but it's not going to be.
I am going to fully invest too in the whole thing. Like I went. There's a place in Oak Park Mall that sells like soccer jerseys. I asked him, I was like, "Are you guys going to get?
You're going to buy a
jerseys?
jersey from another country and wear it?
Are you guys going to get jerseys for the teams?" And they said, "Yeah, all of the teams that are here." So I think
I got one. I just wear a USA one.
I might get a Dutch.
I get why you want to go.
I mean, a Dutch jersey.
Obviously, the U.S. is
jersey.
not playing in Kansas City, so we're all would be going to a match not involving the U.S. But I'm not going to wear a jersey of another country.
I'm gonna get
America.
I'm gonna get a Cody Gakpo Netherlands jersey or a Memphis Depay jersey.
Yeah.
Not me. But we also know that you just wear jerseys of different teams all the time, so it's fun.
I'm excited to see plenty of these other I'm not buying a France jersey, but Mbappe is one of my favorite players to watch. I'm not going to go buy an Mbappe France jersey. Maybe one of his EPL teams or whatever league he's in. These
I'd
days.
be more likely to choose an EPL team than the country.
Than the country.
The actual country.
But I get it. Plenty of people will do exactly what you're doing, though, Drew, which is
to fit in with the crowd a little bit.
Yeah, they'll want to be part of it and feel all. I get it.
Sure. I'm just gonna.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited for it just to see what the city looks like for that month. It's going to be maybe a little chaotic.
You think? Traffic's going to be a little nuts. Yeah. It's all going to be a little chaotic.
We'll make it work here. We can handle it. We'll make it work.
I'm interested to see how it goes. I know for sure, at least on that end. If you're looking for somewhere to go, by the way, on Sunday for the Chiefs game, I'll be at a Dave & Buster's at noon for the Chiefs game out at Village West Parkway. I will see you out there. I am to understand there'll be a signed Jalen Watson jersey is a giveaway and a pair of tickets to Guns N' Roses, amongst maybe other prizes.
Guns N' Roses. Let's go.
So I'll see you out there. If you either want an autographed jersey, it's Christmas time. Come out here, register to win, give yourself a shot. And if you win, your kid gets thrilled. You give him an autographed Chiefs jersey. What's not to like?
Yeah, we got a couple of those coming up, as Cody said, Sunday, Dave & Buster's, and then the last Chiefs game of the year against the Raiders. I will be at a Dave & Buster's, location to be determined. It's one of two. I don't know which one yet, but we'll give you more details on that.
Mine will be out at the Legends.
You and Drew are you just gonna hold court at
Drew come by.
You guys gonna hold court at Papa Shot? You just gonna kick kids out of the way and play? Is that what you're gonna do?
Adults are allowed to play at Dave & Buster's. I think it's part of their slogan, maybe even.
There is one game where there's like mini basketballs that revolve around you. You like try to hit this hammer thing that hits them into a little spot and it goes through and you get to collect it. I've got 23 of the 30 NBA teams. I'm trying to get all 30.
Buster's all the time.
I love Dave & Buster's. That place is incredible. You just get yourself a beer and you can go play games. It's wonderful. Or not an actual beer. You know me. I can't do
cider.
Beer. Yeah, cider.
Get yourself a drink. I mean, you could have just left it. No one was going to question.
I know the clarification is the part I'm laughing at. Not that you don't drink beer. I'm just laughing that you
not
had
an actual beer.
You needed to clarify.
I prefer my drinks in a sippy cup. That was essentially the energy of it. Obviously, I know Drew drinks.
If you missed it earlier, you guys should help Drew increase his Instagram follower count. He's been working on that clearly the last couple of days at DEEREWW. You might say, man, there's no posts. He doesn't post anything. The stories are worth it.
I recently
you should check out.
Instagram.
You should check out his latest story. In a car, driving, late night drives are back, he said, and he's singing in his car. It's a great video. It's an all-timer. You guys should follow him if you haven't already on Instagram. Up next, we will get to what's trending. Plus, earlier today, Danan Hughes, former Chiefs wide receiver, part of the broadcast crew for the Chiefs Radio Network, told us what he makes of the wide receivers heading into this game against Tennessee. And just how do you handle it as a player knowing that the playoffs are not going to happen in 2025?
This is Cody and Gold on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
No one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Whatever your preference, we have everything from tequila cocktails and an extensive bourbon category to top shelf spirits and cocktails served over ice balls. Local craft beers and handcrafted whiskey cocktails round out an adventurous drink menu, second to none. And don't forget about our 29-degree man-sized drafts. Our happy hour will have you coming back for more. Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Caesars Sportsbook is the only sportsbook app with Caesars rewards. Bet on gridiron action and earn perks on every game, like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code Radio250BM and get your first bet matched as a bonus bet up to $250, whether you win or lose. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Missouri. Open to new users only. Minimum odds, -500. Awarded as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Bonus bet amount not returned for winning bets. Void where prohibited. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Men, we hear it all the time. A man comes in to get his erectile dysfunction treated, and very soon thereafter, he tells us that his relationship is renewed. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and you should know that ED doesn't just affect you, it also often affects your partner. They can feel undesired, unwanted, they may even feel like you don't love them anymore. At Heartland Men's Health, we've successfully treated thousands of men for ED with protocols that have success rates as high as 90%. Which means if you're like most men, we can get you back to the guy you used to be. You could even last up to an hour or more and find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and give your partner the gift of renewed love. Your first visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in our office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. That's heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
I'm worth more.
I'm worth a little more.
I'm worth a lot more.
I completely agree. You are worth more, and your car's worth more, and we want to pay more at GiveMeTheVin.com for good cars, because they are worth more, and so are you. And remember, if I don't beat the price on a CarMax or a Carvana deal, I'll pay you $100. For top price, trust, and ease of transaction, GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Hey, football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown in the game, but his teammate scores instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. With BetMGM's second chance offer, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. Try a first TD score wager with confidence today. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Hey friends, it's noisy out there. With information coming at us all day, every day, it's hard to know what to trust. And the world of wealth management is no exception. That's why UMB Private Wealth Management helps you tune out the noise and tune into what matters most. They'll create a financial plan based on your unique goals. So it's your voice that comes through loud and clear. Get financial clarity. Go to umb.com/privatewealth to schedule an appointment. That's umb.com/privatewealth.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapor Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family.
And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
As players fight to avoid mistakes on the field, remember to make smart choices off the field this holiday season. If you decide to drink and drive, you could get a DUI or worse. That one decision to drive impaired could change your life and the life of others forever. If you're going to drink, the only way to be the MVP this holiday season is by planning a safe and sober ride home. Don't risk it. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Christmas holiday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Christmas holiday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
The technicians you can trust with your house keys. Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
This season, enjoy stress-free comfort with easy booking and trusted service from Anthony. Save up to $4,500 on a new high-efficiency HVAC system. Schedule today at anthonyphce.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this. What's trending?
God dang!
Brought to you by Telly Tire and Auto Centers. Winning starts with a great drive. Since 1942, Telly's certified techs have delivered complete car care with top brand tires and expert auto service. Keep your drive going. Take it to Telly. Visit tellytire.com today.
Number one on what's trending. Chiefs, of course, practicing again today. Yesterday, we know there were multiple players that were out, including Leo Chanel, Trent McDuffie, Jalen Moore, Rashee Rice, Jawan Taylor, Tyquan Thornton. It sounds like Trent McDuffie's going to give it a go today. So likely listed as limited is my guess.
And then I would think likely listed as out for Sunday. We'll see.
Yeah.
It is Thursday. Maybe he wants to get back out there. I wouldn't rush any injury at this point. I'm not sure why you would.
True.
Next up on What's Trending, Missouri quarterback Bo Pribula entering the transfer portal. He'll head to a new school here soon. Kind of feels like it'll just end up being Raiola somehow with Missouri. But there are 4 or 5 decently big names in the portal right now. At quarterback, Bo Pribula, just the most recent one to do it. They've been getting bled pretty dry in the portal. Lost multiple wide receivers, a defensive end, and now Bo Pribula, their starting quarterback from last season.
Elsewhere, just a couple news on the stadium front, not in Kansas City, but involving some other franchises. The Bears looking to expand their stadium search. They're having some issues like a lot of teams are now with public financing when it comes to stadiums. So now they're expanding, trying to create a little more leverage and competition. They're going to look towards Indiana. Yeah, the state of Indiana, away from the city of Chicago specifically. Perhaps to actually move there. Otherwise, just to create some more leverage, we shall see. And then the Pittsburgh Penguins are being sold. The Fenway Sports Group selling it to a Chicago-based family, the Hoffman family. They bought the team 5 years ago, and now they're selling it for $1.7 billion.
Whew.
Just last year alone, their valuation went up 16%. So not a bad profit over the last 5 years from the Pittsburgh Penguins' new ownership, heading into now, I guess it's their third owner in the last 20 years.
With the way these are raising in price, I'm surprised this isn't happening more, because this is hundreds of millions of dollars in profit for 5 years of ownership. Next up on What's Trending, Puka Nacua has apologized for what appeared to be an anti-Semitic dance on a live stream with a couple of different people. His brother also was arrested today over alleged theft of a Lakers player car, a dude T-Row. Apparently Saturday night, the LA Police Department, Trey Rose, 27, and Samson Nakua, 27, were arrested after a newer model BMW was reported stolen by the Lakers player. So tough turnaround there for the Nakuas the last 48 hours.
Yeah. No, that's one way to put it. Elsewhere.
A lot of self-inflicted. How about that?
Elsewhere on what's trending. We mentioned this sad news in the noon hour during What's Trending. Now there are multiple reports, unfortunately, confirming this news. There was a plane crash at a regional airport in Statesville, North Carolina. The plane was owned by Greg Biffle, and so at that point in time, of course, they did not have reports on who was actually on board, but now a couple TV stations in that area, unfortunately, reporting that Greg Biffle, along with his wife and at least one of his kids, were on that plane. I believe he has 2 kids, but it has not been confirmed if both children were on that flight. Just a terrible situation involving a plane crash. There are no survivors, according to reports out of North Carolina. So just awful news there in the last hour or so. Drew, you're obviously the NASCAR guy on the show. You were saying he was driving part-time still. Is that right? He wasn't full-time anymore?
So
or what was he?
I don't know. I can't remember if he did any races in the Cup Series this past year. He might have tried to do the Daytona 500.
Okay.
But yeah, he's not been a full-time driver for some time, but he still has been involved in the NASCAR space a little bit. So yeah, terrible news.
Private jet crashing outside of Statesville, North Carolina. All right, earlier today, we were joined by Danan Hughes, former Chiefs wide receiver. You guys know, of course, he'll be on the broadcast on Sunday with Mitch Holthus and Josh Klingler for the Chiefs radio network as the Chiefs take on the Titans. We got into the wide receivers a little bit and all the injuries and what does that mean for Jalen Royals, for example. But we started our conversation with a report that came out earlier today from Josina Anderson that was talking about Bill Belichick. She was just saying that she's hearing there are at least a couple front offices in the NFL that are kicking the tires on perhaps discussing Bill Belichick as a head coach again in the NFL. She went on to say her understanding is Belichick has upper-level personnel still fond of him in Atlanta, New York, and Cleveland. So we asked Danan Hughes, what does he make of that report?
Yeah, guys, I would think that it had failed, but desperation is a factor around the NFL. And although there's this wave of young talent at the coaching positions, that seem to kind of take a life in the NFL. There are also some old school owners and GMs that, want a flashback of the past and believe that Bill Belichick still has some gas left in his tank. So I'm not totally surprised in it to get away from the game in the fashion that he did. Sometimes can create some curiosity as it pertains to whether or not he still has it. And when you look across the landscape of the league and teams that weren't expecting to lose to the extent that they are, or weren't expected to have, tumultuous relationships with their coaches and players and thereof, who knows? Maybe Miami could be that destination. That was the first one that comes off the top of my head. But it's the nature of the beast there. I just also want to say, guys, that I said this earlier with Dusty and Fesco earlier this week, that I think the conspiracy theories of the Chiefs not making the playoffs and all that's happening has trickled into our radio communications, because this is the second show, the second segment this week, where strangely my phone is not working when you guys call. So I feel like I have taken credit for a couple of the Super Bowls since I've been in the booth for 6 years, because I think it's been about me and not about those guys on the field. You guys know that.
Yeah.
And now I feel like it's reversing, because now nobody wants to hear from me, evidently, because you guys can't get in contact with me. So I feel like maybe I won't take any blame for this season, but I'm a factor. Who knew? I'm a factor.
Danan, when you look at the coaching stuff, it's really interesting because look, people are seriously, they're ready to be mad at Andy Reid, be mad at Brett Veach, because when you have a season where you have Patrick Mahomes and you fail like this, they're, I think, swinging even bigger than they should. But how do you, I guess, determine when you feel like it's not the roster's not good versus the game has passed you by? Because I think you can watch Bill Belichick and you're like, you're coaching old school and it doesn't work and this approach doesn't work. And with Pete Carroll, I told Gold at the end of the time in Seattle, I didn't think it looked like he had it anymore. He took this Raiders job and it's been horrible. At what point do you worry like anything else? Andy is the second oldest coach in the NFL. And I'm not saying I'm there yet, but how do you know if the game's passed someone by?
So I don't know if there's a clear-cut answer as to when you feel like the game has passed you by, but I can tell you when you lose 8 games and 7 of them by 1 score, I think that's probably the definition of that it's not passed you by. Like, if we would be having a whole different conversation if we would have gotten blown out with a healthy Patrick Mahomes, a healthy Travis Kelce, a healthy Chris Jones, maybe not so, not the issues off the field of Rashee Rice and having him for the full season, and not the collision early on with Xavier Worthy that forced him out of the lineup and pretty much unhealthy for most of this season, and we were getting blown out, then I think we would have a different discussion of, okay, man, like what's going on here, and has the game passed anybody by on the coaching staff? But when you lose 8 games in the fashion that we have after winning 17 games over the last 2 seasons and setting a record, like you can't go from one extreme to the other. He couldn't have been just 9 months ago considered at the cusp of being considered the greatest coach of the greatest franchise and the greatest dynasty and the greatest run, to now 9+ months later, people thinking about calling for his job. I think we live in this kind of extreme kind of mindset society where either you're great or you're at fault. And if you're at fault, we need to rinse and repeat and get rid of you. And I don't think Andy Reid has shown that. I don't think you can go from one extreme to the other to that extent like we are now and what people are calling for.
The wide receivers this Sunday, I mean, that receiver room could look a lot different, not by choice necessarily because of some injuries. Of course, Tyquan Thornton in concussion protocol, Rashee Rice in concussion protocol. At this point in time, I would say it's somewhat unlikely that either play. Will we finally see Jalen Royals if that's the case? I mean, the last 3 weeks, I know there's some guys on the team that have some incentives that maybe you want to take care of as well. But at the same time, Jalen Royals, Brashard Smith, this seems like a great opportunity to find out what you have heading into the offseason.
Absolutely. I think if you're going into these games, and I mentioned it earlier this week, and you play to win the game, the Herm Edwards quote that's echoed for decades around the NFL. You play to win the game. I get that. But at the same time, if that's your number one priority, 1B can be evaluation of young talent. And I think it would be a smart approach in going into these last 3 games and seeing exactly what you have with some of the guys lower on the depth chart, giving them more ample opportunity to play. And what I mean by that is one of the toughest things in all of sports, if you look at Major League Baseball being a pinch hitter, maybe a DH, basketball being the 7th, 8th guy off the bench. In football, looking to the sideline after every play to see if you're being rotated in or out. I know that Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt and most running backs that have come through the league hate that. They want to be able to get into the rhythm, get into the groove, and have the flexibility to tap the top of their helmet and run off the field when they're winded, not look to the sideline to see if the personnel changes every single play. Because I will tell you from experience, even though it seems like it's insignificant, that run on and off the field is tiring. It is tiring. It is not. It looks like it should be easy, but getting in the huddle, getting your juices flowing, your adrenaline going, and then looking to the sideline and then having to run to the sideline, then run back on, can get you winded. So I feel it's a long-winded answer to say this is an ample opportunity not only to get glimpses of these guys, but get them extended play. Almost treat it like a glorified preseason game where they are part of the game plan, and you can almost guarantee that they're going to have 30 to 50 reps in the game. And then you'll be able to evaluate, okay, this guy, although he may not be a starter for us next year, we got something in the books and in our tank and in our bullpen for a number 3, a number 4, number 5 guy.
When you look at you follow him as much as we do. We talk about all these guys who could have there. I see Arid Pride maybe put out their list and they said, we'd like to see more Noah Gray because, is he going to be the starting tight end next year versus Travis Kelce? Did you read in that New Heights line the same as we did, which was when he said the Chiefs instead of we? I took that as like, why is he saying it like that? Like he's not a part of the Chiefs when they try to get Patrick Mahomes back.
Yeah, and even going back to our conversation last week where I said, watching him prior to that Texans game and seeing him look around the stadium, I thought, you know what? Like that looks like the look of a guy that knows he's in front of, a crowd for the third to last time possibly in his career. So I'm not surprised. There were also some other nuggets on the New Heights podcast. Looked like he got choked up when Jason had asked him a question about the feelings coming out of this last game against the Chargers, and the impact of not going to the playoffs after his successes. And it seemed like he was very calculated in his answer, which I don't think I've seen that before. So, like, we can nitpick and look through a microscope at everything he says and does. The fact remains is he's going to go off on his own accord. If he's already made that decision, more power to him. He's been a huge blessing to the Chiefs kingdom for 13 years now, and 10 Pro Bowls and 5 Super Bowls and 3 championships. Like, what else could you possibly want to do? And so I hope to see a little bit more from him. I believe 203 yards he needs to break 1,000. That would be a great accomplishment to go out and ride off into the sunset with that on your resume. But the way he wants to go out is great. And if we can see a little bit more of the other tight ends, I really like Robert Tonyan. I've liked him for years. So maybe we'll see more of him as well.
We're talking to Danan Hughes here on 96.5 The Fan. You mentioned, for Travis in these final 3 weeks and maybe there's certain incentives or milestones and things like that would be neat. What about just as a team, when you're playing in a game, Danan, late in the year, and especially if you're a player that's only known the playoffs and you're not a young rookie or something, how do you get up for a game like this? Like, I know as a fan, it's easy for us to say, I'll just have Red Zone channel on instead. But you can't half-ass a football game, though, right?
No, you can't. And I think that from a player's perspective, and I remember being in that locker room with guys that either you knew based on their contract situation, upcoming free agency, or maybe their age, that, like, we can't let this dude go out like this. Like, we can't let this player go out like that. And as an athlete, you're always reaching for different things to incentivize you a little bit more, to get you over the top, maybe to get your blood boiling a little bit more hot before games. And to me, if I'm sitting in that locker room and I'm in my quietest moments before warm-ups or before kickoff and before Andy starts talking to the team and we start to get towards the tunnel for the opening lineups, like, I'm looking around and saying, man, we're not going to the playoffs. This might be the third to last game I'm going to play with him, pointing to this person, pointing to that person, pointing to that person. And by the way, that person over there is likely going to retire or maybe seems like he's moving towards retirement as a Hall of Famer. And I don't want him to go out not only just not making the playoffs, but on losses to teams that we should beat. So, like, I think that's where the brotherhood comes in. That's where that fraternity comes into play, and you playing for the guy next to you. We've heard all those sayings in the past, play for the guy next to you. Yeah, I think that's normal, but I think it's amped up even more at this juncture when you know your fate at the end of the season.
How do you feel about Gardner Minshew's possibility of being the safety net quarterback in case they need it next year? You view this, I'm assuming the way the team does, which is this is an audition for next season?
I think we're in the same boat as we were last year with Carson Wentz, and that didn't bode well for him being the future guy. So not to put more pressure on Gardner Minshew, but I've been around guys that the safest place they've been has been on the sideline with a baseball cap and a clipboard. And then I've been around where guys have been able to seize the opportunity and make a living for themselves for years to come. And we can probably scratch our heads and go through a lineup or a litany of quarterbacks, not just in Chiefs uniforms, but in other teams' uniforms that probably would have been better served keeping their baseball cap on. I want to see them play because I want to know to check that off of, okay, we got our backup quarterback for future years when Patrick Mahomes comes back. And, oh, by the way, if it takes a little longer for him to come back, we got Minshew that looked really good in the final 3 games that he can carry us possibly for the first 2-3 games of the season until Patrick's 100%. So the tryouts are alive now, and the live bullets are going to be flying. You got 3 games to showcase that you belong in this championship organization.
At least you're headed to Nashville. There's worse places to go at this point in time of the season. Are you, I guess, who from the broadcast crew is more likely to I don't know if there was ever a karaoke opportunity. Are you going cowboy boots, cowboy hat on Broadway? What are we doing?
I got my cowboy hat when I was in Dallas.
Okay.
The Chiefs, we had an outing with some sponsors, and we all got Stetson cowboy hats.
Nice.
That's the first time I've ever gotten a cowboy hat or wore a cowboy hat, even though I'm a big hat guy. But I will not be wearing it down there.
Oh.
And I would say of the entire radio crew, I would say I would probably be the one that would step up to the mic and do karaoke. I wouldn't do it well. Let me just tell you that. But I have no qualms about embarrassing myself. I don't care. But we may get Nate Wetmore on there. He'll be coming down the home stretch of his final 3 games as part of the Chiefs Radio Network crew. So maybe we can coax him into jumping on the microphone and ending the season with a bang.
What's your guess for what song Mitch Holthus would do if he did karaoke? What kind of genre of music does he listen to?
That's a great question. I don't know. Maybe would he do like a Sweet Caroline or something like that? I feel like
I could see him holding the microphone out to the crowd, encouraging him to go ba ba ba. I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah, he would definitely not be the guy that would want to sing the entire song himself. So he would pick something that would encourage the crowd to join him.
So that was Danan Hughes earlier today. He's got players only tonight, 6:00.